here. This is a severe thunderstorm watch that is running until midnight for Milwaukee, Waukesha, Walworth, Racine, and Kenosha counties. That is in addition to a severe thunderstorm warning for wind and hail for western portions of Walworth County. That's going to run until 8:30. And stand by with me here as that storm is not going to be, there's another storm into Waukesha County. There's storms everywhere right now. And we have a flash flood warning in effect for portions of Jefferson County. So let's talk about what's going on here as we have a line of thunderstorms now crossing from Janesville over into Walworth County. This was the storm that had a tornado warning on it over Janesville. That rotation has stopped. So that's why we are not seeing a tornado warning at this time into Walworth County. However, any of these storms could spin at any given point, so we can't rule out a tornado warning from time to time. But right now, we're not seeing anything too concerning, maybe a little bit right there to the east of Beloit, but we'll watch that closely. This is what I'm really concerned about. This radar is a mess tonight, and you can see all of this rain here, and look where it's all going. Milwaukee, and all of us here in southeastern Wisconsin, but so many areas last night, especially from northern parts of Jefferson and southern Dodge counties, northern Waukesha, southern Washington, northern Milwaukee, southern Ozaukee counties got inundated with rain last night. We had water rescues just down the street from our television station because of cars stuck in the water. So what does that mean? That means that we are in store now for another 1 to 3 inches of rain between now and about 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, this is heavy rain that's going to last for a good 4 hours, maybe 5 or 6 hours here. You can see what we call stratiform rain on the backside towards Madison behind the line. So this is going to last for quite a while, and I am very concerned about flash flooding. I mentioned the flash flood warning in effect for western parts of Jefferson County, and I think we're going to have more of those as we go throughout the night. Here's another view of the radar with all the lightning here as well. Now, there is a flood watch in effect for everybody until 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, in addition to the severe thunderstorm watch that was just issued, really for the front side of this line, and that's in effect until midnight for Milwaukee, again, Waukesha, Walworth, Racine, and Kenosha counties. And stand by with me here. Look at this. Flash flood warning. All right, and we're going to need to cut in here on Fox 6 as well. So if we can go ahead to prepare for that right now. This is a tornado warning for Walworth. All right, so guys, we anchors, we are going to be going wall to wall, what we call wall to wall. So when we are ready, okay, and we are now on Fox 6. Okay, from Fox Local to Fox 6, I'm Chief Meteorologist Tom Walks. We have a lot that has just unfolded in the last 30 seconds. That includes a tornado warning that has now been issued for central parts of Walworth County, and this is until 8:30. Let me zoom this in here for you. Elkhorn and Sugar Creek and East Troy. You are all in this tornado warning until 8:30. I know you're sick of these. I get it, but here we go again. This is a radar indicated tornado that is located near Delavan, along with extensive straight line winds, and it's moving east at 30 miles per hour. Let's talk about this here. Just within the last few minutes, we are getting this curvature on the radar here just to the west of Elkhorn. All right, so this is the concern. Again, let me just be very clear here before we start storm tracking and everything else. A tornado warning has now been issued for central portions of Walworth County until 8:30 for not only a radar indicated tornado, which we're going to get into a deep dive about here, but also for damaging straight line winds and, more alerts are now going off as we have a flash flood warning in effect for Milwaukee as well, which we'll get to here in just a little bit. But what I need to make sure of here, and I want to pull the warning back up for you, because if you are in this tornado warning, and I know cell phones are going off again, we've gotten unfortunately very used to this over the course of the last couple of days. If your cell phone has gone off, if you are in this red box here in central Walworth County, you need to be in your tornado safe location, getting as many walls in between you and the outside as possible. If you have a basement, get to your basement. Otherwise, get to the lowest level in an interior room. That's an interior bathroom, an interior closet. Take some pillows and some blankets with you, and keep this time in the front of your mind. That is 8:30. So about 25 minutes from now, because you want to stay in your shelter until that point. Now, if you have the TV and can hear it from your shelter, crank it up. Otherwise, you can get us on Fox Local, the Fox Local app that is so important and so critical. You can watch our coverage right now from your device, so you can keep up to speed with what's going on here. Again, it's called Fox Local. Please make sure to have that. So again, this tornado warning, radar indicated tornado, this is in effect until 8:30. All right, so now let's break down what's going on here with this. Again, radar indicated, meaning that we don't have reports of touchdowns. However, we do have reports of funnel clouds that have happened with this storm back when it was over Janesville. This is going to look a little bit familiar to you here from the last couple of nights. This is a linear storm with a little nub, if you will, just off of that. So these will likely be brief spin-up tornadoes that may kind of come and go. So we may see more warnings being issued along this line as well. So, hey, Amanda, what's going on?
Send a crew to Walworth County?
Yes. I would say head on down. Yes, I would say head on down towards Elkhorn.
Great.
That's where I'd go. Yes, thank you, Amanda. Okay, a new severe thunderstorm warning also now in effect. This is going to be for the rest of Walworth County into western portions of Racine County and western Kenosha County. That is going to run here until 8. Let's see here. That's going to run until 9 o'clock tonight. So that's the latest warning that we have there as well. That is also going to be for the same line of storms. No tornadoes with the rest of the line yet, but it's a possibility that that gets upgraded to a tornado warning. All right, bear with me here because there's so much going on all at once. And our news director, Amanda, just came in because we're going to be sending crews in various directions to try to get you the latest information. So let's go into the velocity here. Let's dig into this. And you can see it. Elkhorn, we got you here. You see Elkhorn right there? All right, it's going to be this area just to the west of Elkhorn. It's going to be right here. All right, and that's where you're seeing the yellows and the reds and then the greens. Let me go back a frame or two. See how it comes in? Right there. So this is going to be heading right into Elkhorn very, very shortly. So again, this is a radar indicated, likely a heavy rain wrapped system heading right into Elkhorn. Right now, there's nothing confirmed out of this. However, we could have wind damage and we could have we could also end up having a possible tornado. Just hearing from the National Weather Service that, just as we talked about, the rotation is tracking southeast towards southern Elkhorn. So we just tracked that for you here. Elkhorn, Spring Prairie. Again, this is moving east at 30 miles per hour. So Burlington, you need to have your ears perked up here as well. Let's go ahead and do a storm track on this for you. I'm just going to do the portion where the rotation is. All right, so that will kind of give you an idea as it crosses 43 and really runs right down 11 here. So we'll go into western portions of Racine County here. And this will give you an idea, areas that were very hard hit last night. And this is going to be for Elkhorn right now, Spring Prairie shortly at 8:25, Lyons at 8:28, Burlington 8:38, Browns Lake 8:43, if it were to hold together. Now, something else here. They're talking about another merger towards Delavan Lake as well. So let me pull this back up here for you. And let's take another look at this. This is the broad view. Again, a lot of flash flood warnings being issued as well. We'll get there when the tornadic activity calms down. But again, it looks like they're talking about another kind of nudge here. And so let's take a look at that. This is going to end up being, I think, a loud one for us here. Again, if you're in the tornado warning, take appropriate tornado precautions. Right now, I want to stop the loop. And let's take a look and see here what we've got going on, because it looks like there could be two of them, and I see exactly what they're talking about. Let's zoom this into Elkhorn. You see Sugar Creek, you see Elkhorn, you see Delavan. All right. So now let's take a look. And the radar, I believe, is going to update here in just a moment, but there's likely another one kind of just to the south of Delavan. And it's actually there. You can see it right here, a little bit farther south, so just east of Darien. So right there, right there. We just did this last night, didn't we, with these linear storms that are forming little pockets of rotation. And I will tell you this, and we don't have time to get into this right now, but just to talk about the storms from last night that looked very similar to this. We have gotten more reports, more surveys from the National Weather Service from last night, including in Waterford and East Troy from last night, that we had tornadoes that touched down that were in the EF1 range. So that just came out within the last hour from last night's storms. Why do I bring that up? Well, this is the same type of an atmosphere. Okay, so as this line is moving to the east at 30 miles per hour, and again, here's Lake Geneva to kind of get your bearings here for Walworth County, these little notches that you're seeing could produce quick tornadoes. Now, is this going to be the type of tornado that hit the northern portions of Waukesha County last night with that supercell thunderstorm? No. It's not. In the Lisbon area, Sussex area, no, it's a different type of a storm, but these can still produce EF1 type tornado damage and EF1 tornadoes out of this, in addition to strong straight line winds. So this is why you need to be in your tornado safe spot. It's going to move through pretty quickly here, and it's also looking like it's moved through Sugar Creek fairly quickly as well. So I think Sugar Creek, you're looking pretty good. You're just in the heavy rain portion of this, but Burlington, I know I mentioned you a moment ago, and western portions of Racine County, it's going to be interesting to see what the National Weather Service does here, because I have a feeling the tornado warnings may be extended to you as well. So if you're just joining us, let me go ahead and pull up the tornado warnings again, or the tornado warning. Oh, okay. So that, Jeff, thank you very much for that. Jeff, our producer, yep, a funnel cloud to the southwest of Elkhorn. So that is just coming in here at 8:13. Funnel cloud to the southwest of Elkhorn. And there you can see the tornado warning, again, that is in effect. If you're just joining us here, this is in effect until 8:30 tonight. So we have another 15 minutes left on this warning. But again, now it's considered to be observed in that we have a funnel cloud having been noted here. The question will be, do we have one or do we have multiple tornadoes out of this line? So let me go ahead and do another storm track for you here in terms of the direction and the speed. Now, just to kind of zoom this out, you can see Milwaukee on here as well. So it's a linear storm. This looks very familiar, doesn't it? To almost exact shape to that line that we had last night. And so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do a track on this entire line for you. Again, going from southern Waukesha County to just west of Lake Geneva, just because I want to do a track for our southern communities. Milwaukee, you're already in the thick of it, and we'll get into the flooding in a bit. I think it's going to get pretty nasty flooding-wise in the Milwaukee area. But again, Lake Geneva, right now and into the next 10 minutes, you're really going to start to hear that thunder picking up here. Franklin, so now we're looking kind of more on the northern side of this portion of the line. 8:43 for the roughest weather for you, even though you're hearing the thunder right now and you're getting some thunder right now. This is that linear portion that's going to come through Racine within the next hour. Now, if this speeds up, this time frame could also speed up. And again, I want to emphasize the tornado warning is only for central Walworth County and eastern Walworth County right now. It does not include some of the other cities that you're seeing on here that include Racine, Kenosha, and southern Milwaukee County. You are not in a tornado warning, but this line is coming for you, so it is possible that we could end up seeing a tornado warning issued farther to the east. So that's also why I want to put these cities on here. Kenosha, it'll be a bit closer to 9:30 for you when this comes on through. And then if you look to the north here, that west to east segment, that is going to end up being some flooding rain. Now we have a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is for Waukesha County. So let's go ahead and zoom this in for you here. You can kind of get an idea of the green is the flash flood warnings, the red is the tornado warning, and now we have, okay, new tornado warning, Kenosha, Racine, Walworth. All right, so it's almost so fast at this point that it's hard to keep up. This is a severe thunderstorm warning for Waukesha County until 8:45. That includes Waukesha, New Berlin, Brookfield, all of the areas on your screen there in the box. But I want to focus on this tornado warning, and this is for east central Walworth County, southwest Racine County, northwest Kenosha County until 8:45. And again, Rochester, Browns Lake, Waterford North, Boners Lake, Wheatland, Eagle Lake, Union Grove, Paddock Lake, and Silver Lake. Burlington, you're in this. Kansasville, Honey Creek, New Munster, Waterford, Brighton, Springfield. This sounds familiar, doesn't it? Because we just did this last night. This is in effect until 8:45. Same places that got hit very, very hard last night, getting hit very, very hard tonight. So again, this is in effect until 8:45. So for the folks under this warning, what I need you to do, and give me one moment here. All right, so again, these are the spin-up type tornadoes. And according to the National Weather Service, the Waukesha portion, the why they didn't issue a tornado warning for Waukesha County is because that looks to be more damaging downburst type winds. All right, versus the rotation that we're getting that's going to be moving from Walworth into Racine and Kenosha County. So basically what this is doing is confirming what we've been talking about, right? Which is these little notches along the line that are going to be heading right into western Racine County and into portions of Kenosha County here as well. So again, and I'll show you the tornado warning in a moment, please take your tornado safe precautions. I know the sirens are going off, your cell phones are going off again for the second time in 24 hours. And you need to take your tornado precautions. And I will tell you this, again, while we have had funnel clouds reported, there's a lot of rain with this. And just like last night, in fact, let me step out of the way because I just want to give you the correct information here. There was an EF1 tornado last night in Waterford. Again, that just coming out within the last hour from a National Weather Service survey. That was last night's storm. There was also an EF1 tornado southwest of East Troy for a line that was very similar to what this looks like. So that's why you need to take your appropriate tornado precautions right now, because as we look at the rotation, what I'm seeing almost right along I-43 are strong straight line winds. And as we look back here, I'm not seeing anything overly huge with any sort of a couplet, but it could be anywhere along this line. And really from Mukwonago south, even though Mukwonago, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning. Let's see here. Here comes the new sweep. Maybe far southern portions. And so actually two areas. This one right here. And again, I'm kind of analyzing this on the fly with you here. Northwest of Rochester. And I know I heard from you folks in Rochester how hard you guys got hit. Waterford. So again, it's going to be just to your northwest. It's going to be this area right here along and north of 20. Okay, so so this is where, again, we have kind of the 20-83 split. You go just to the west and northwest of there. That's where there's at least a little bit of rotation. It's not huge, but again, it doesn't need to be huge to produce, you know, an EF0 to EF1 tornado. So that's the concern right now, northwest Racine County. This is a tornado warning that is going to continue until 8:45. In fact, that area is not even under the tornado warning, to be honest with you. That's kind of just the north side of it, which makes me wonder if they're going to extend that a little bit to the north, because at least that's where I'm seeing that nudge or that notch right now. And look at this. Let me go back. We'll do a 15-minute radar loop here for you. And you'll be able to see that you can see a couple. There's that one, and now there's this next one to the west of Rochester, northwest of Honey Lake, southeast of East Troy. Okay, update for you. The National Weather Service will allow the Walworth tornado warning. Okay, now that's this one back here towards Elkhorn. You can see a couple of boxes, and I know how confusing this gets, but it's going to be this box right here that's going to expire in 9 minutes at 8:30. The rest of this continues, all right? And that's because, obviously, the storm has moved east, right? So, and now, look at this. Let's stop this, because, like, every radar frame goes to another little area of rotation. So now I'm watching areas not far from Lake Geneva. All right, so let me go down the line for you here. Let's start out. All right, I'm going to step back on screen here. Again, if you're just joining us, this is almost an identical situation to what we had last night in this exact same area. A line of thunderstorms with little areas of rotation. Now, I talked about this last night, and I will mention it again tonight, which is this is not the same type of a setup, a supercellular setup, which is what happened in Lisbon and Sussex with that EF2 tornado last night. That is not the case here. That being said, you can still get tornadoes out of lines like this, and it happened last night in this exact same area. They were on the lower end. It was EF1 damage. That's still enough to produce some decent damage out of it, and that's why you want to be in your tornado-safe spot, but I just don't want you to think that this is some massively monster-huge tornado. It is not. It's enough to do damage, plus you have straight-line winds coming out of the storm as well, but these are, again, different types of systems than we had when you're talking about the supercellular storm. Okay, and this is now a new severe thunderstorm warning as well. Let's go back and go through here. And by the way, hi, Steph. Thank you so much. My colleague Stephanie Barrichello, who was here all day today and all night last night, just came back in. She is an absolute hero, so thank you so much. Steph, I'll kind of fill you up to speed, too, along with our viewers.
Thank you.
It's a mess going on right now. So we have tornado warnings, very similar situation to what we had last night with this linear area of thunderstorms. And not only that, we have the very heavy rain, flash flood warning in Milwaukee, Waukesha, Ozaukee, and Washington counties. But that linear portion, I mean, this is literally almost an exact
Very similar
replica, right, of last night. And Stephanie is mic'd up, by the way. She is on our backup mic for our audio folks. If you want to mic her up as well, she is ready to go. And again, it's these little notches that we're seeing here. So if you're in the warned area, basement, lowest level of your home, I mean, I think everyone knows the drill, right, at this point, but it's just worth repeating. If you don't have a basement, get to an interior hallway, interior closet, interior bathroom, something interior, staying away from outside walls and windows. Take some blankets and pillows with you, and know that we are on Fox Local, the Fox Local app as well. Much like last night and the night before, we are here for you through all of this. Again, the concern level for us is not so much monster tornadoes. It's embedded tornadoes within strong winds and heavy rain. Steph, do we have another warning that's kind of coming out here?
You know, it's not showing up just yet, so
Okay.
I wonder if that was more so thanks to one of the other ones that were issued.
Oh,
great.
let's take a look at that. So our producer, Jeff, we've got rain video out of Muskego, and this is... Okay, live camera from DOT, so this is going to be another big portion of this as well. But again, folks in parts of Kenosha and Racine and eastern Walworth counties, you remain under this tornado warning. And look at this. And so you're not only talking about these embedded tornadoes, but remember how we talked about the this is, Jeff, is this live? This is live. Wow. Look at this.
I mean, it was pretty heavy on my drive in, but I could still see. So clearly it's picking up even more. It does look like now, Tom, I think there's a new tornado warning for Racine County.
Okay.
So let me put that.
Let's take a look at that here.
Clear some of this
And I
out
know,
for
yeah,
you.
sorry, I know the map is really full here tonight. Again, it's what's incredible is this is almost identical to what we had last night. And so, here we go yet again. I see, yes, a new tornado warning. This is in effect for Racine County until 9, Central Racine County. And this is for radar indicated rotation, Union Grove, Wind Lake, Raymond, Yorkville, Waterford, Eagle Lake. We talked about Honey Creek, Franksville, Caledonia. You need to be in your tornado safe spot, again, because of one of these, or several of these little notches that we are seeing on the radar. So that is certainly something that we are going to be continuing to monitor here as we go through the next several minutes. And Steph, again, you can just see, it's just like last night, isn't it?
It really is. Absolutely
how we're
the same
seeing
setup.
those little notches.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so we're basically just watching here, especially Racine County, where that warning is in place. I'll just kind of zoom in. I'm looking maybe just towards the southwest of Norway here. But you can tell there's still some strong wind, maybe just north of Rochester as well. And really all down this line, at the very least, you're going to be dealing with that strong straight line wind. I just feel terrible because these are the exact same spots that dealt with last night's storm. In fact, there was a confirmed tornado from last night near East Troy. So sadly, this is happening again for these same areas. So stay in your safe spots, that is, until we have these warnings expired. But they're going to linger for a little bit longer. And again, especially I'd say south of Norway, we're watching that little area, maybe even north of Lake Geneva.
Let me just check our weather deck. Was that hail? Did you hear that?
I did not hear
A
that.
moment ago, or some wind?
We are getting even more reports of, this is torrential rain. Waukesha, significant road flooding on Summit Avenue West in Grandview.
Yeah, and flooding is going to become a huge issue. And once we get out of the tornado warnings, we will get that as we get into that, because this is going to be a nasty flood night.
Yeah.
So again, this tornado warning, so let's kind of run through, if we could, Steph, as we just kind of were refilling our we ran out of paper in the printer, by the way.
And I meant to do that earlier.
We've had so many warnings.
Shout out to
excuse me.
Our assistant news director.
Yes, running in here, so you guys are amazing. All right, so let's take a look. Let's do the expiration times of these as well. So if you are in the red shaded areas, these are tornado warnings. This one is going to drop here in about a minute.
This
at
far
8:30.
west.
Yes, the far west one.
Yeah.
Because the line
right at
is
8:30.
Yep, is pushing into Racine and Kenosha counties. And Jeff, by the way, our producer Jeff, if you have more cameras in this area, particularly eventually here as we're getting close to 41, let us know and we'll take that as well. So I know Waterford, you got hit hard last night. All these areas got hit very hard. Please stay in your tornado safe spot until these warnings expire. Now, let's go ahead and look at this one here, Steph.
Sure.
The western one, I believe, is until 8:45. Yes, this one is until 8:45. And then the new one here is until 9. And
Correct.
that one encompasses central portions of Racine County. So, again, 8:45 to 9 o'clock, stay in your tornado safe spot. We may end up seeing it issued for central and eastern Kenosha County, potentially as well. We'll see how this shakes out. Now let's go back to the radar and show you what's going on in terms of this line. And we're going to stay focused on Racine and Kenosha, because that's really the danger zone right now for the potential for tornadoes. And usually we wouldn't talk intensity, because intensity is based on the damage that it causes. But given that we had this almost exact line in this exact atmosphere last night, we know that we had EF1 damage in places like East Troy and Waterford from tornadoes last night. So, of course, we can now assume that these could produce that same amount of damage, which is EF1 damage, and also straight line wind damage coming in as well. So let's pause it, Steph, and just look at some of these notches, because I'm seeing this one here and I'm seeing another one there, and I'm interested to see, thank you, Steph, for zooming that in. So there's Union Grove, there's Norway. Let's zoom in a little more, because it looks like, Waterford, you're right in it right now. And Burlington, you need to be in your tornado safe spot, right? Everyone does. But these are where the two areas of rotation appear to us to be. Let's take a look at the velocity, the storm relative velocity. And let's see. There's a little something there. Let's go down a little bit to the one Burlington. It's messy. So as I'm looking at this, nothing is jumping out, and Steph, chime in here as well.
No, I agree.
Nothing's jumping out going, oh my gosh, this is huge rotation. However, they can kind of come and go. So that also goes back to our conclusion or our thoughts here that these would be brief tornadoes, but also strong winds coming out of the front side of the storm, Steph.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it does appear that the no rotation yet near Burlington, but it does appear that even the National Weather Service is kind of looking at that area, that little notch that we were just looking at that was just southwest of Burlington. Here you can kind of see it on reflectivity. So I think that's the area right now that we'll maybe focus on. But again, there is no rotation technically, yet in that area. We still got a handful of severe thunderstorm warnings as well. It looks like the severe thunderstorm warning for Rock County was canceled, so that's some good news, obviously outside of our viewing area, but it just means behind this line it's not quite as strong.
I wonder here, let's take a look at the hail.
Oh, sure.
Steph, and then as I'm looking at that, if you want to check in, I think the Weather Service may have just had an update about the rotation that we were just looking at in Racine County as well. So we're going to catch up with all of that. But the hail is interesting here because that is spiking a little bit. Milwaukee right into eastern Waukesha County. So again, the Milwaukee area right into West Dallas and New Berlin as well, right into the New Berlin and Hales Corners area, not far from there. In fact, let's check in quickly. Our Sam Kramer is in is in Hales Corners. Can we just take his shot real quick? I just want to see, because he is right in the thick of this thing. He is in Hales Corners. Okay, so this is torrential rain. I mean, the flooding is really, really, really a big issue here, which we'll get to when the tornado warnings start winding down. So stay off the roadways. Sammy, if you can hear me, we can't talk to you right now, but, oh, you're on the phone, Sam. Okay, Sam, have you seen any hail where you are? Okay. Oh.
You can really tell how heavy the rain is in the shot. I mean, look at the wind just whipping that rain. We saw this last night, too. That's that torrential rain that we saw here at the station. If you have to travel the rest of the evening, I know it's getting later, so hopefully you don't have to be. Just know this really is kind of a repeat of, at least rain-wise, what we experienced last night.
Absolutely. And it's something worth mentioning, the hail end of it. Well, the hail spiking, it's nothing like we saw yesterday.
So true.
And that's something that I think we need to really bring up, because remember yesterday there were spots, that had nearly tennis ball-sized hail. That's not this. So the hail and the tornado aspect of it, well, yes, we could have EF1 tornadoes. We're not talking about stronger than that, which is good. But again, a tornado is a tornado, and I don't want to come across as that I'm trying to diminish this in any way. But this, much like last night, is likely going to end up for most folks being a massive rain event and a flooding event. I know many of us, including myself and Stephanie, had water last night, and I think we're going to have it again tonight. So we'll get to more on that here in a minute. Let's go back, Steph, to the tornado warning, and we'll go back south here, and we'll check in with Sam here in just a moment. But we're about 10 minutes out from this this tornado warning from expiring. That would be the eastern Walworth into southwestern Racine and far northwestern Kenosha counties. That expires at 8:45. Then you have this next warning, and that is in effect through central portions of Racine County, and that runs until 9 o'clock tonight. So let's go back to the radar. Let's talk about this here, see if we see any more of these notches. And Steph, you mentioned this a minute ago. Again, this one I'm not as concerned with any longer, but it's the one that just moved through Burlington.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, it's still there. on the reflectivity. And to explain what this is, again, folks, in tornado warnings, you need to be in your tornado safe spot right now. So what's happening and what you're looking at here, the radar beam is over in Sullivan. So the radar beam goes out and it hits this precipitation and it bounces back to the radar, and it effectively, the radar goes into listening mode and it tells the radar, hey, we got some precipitation here. Well, all of a sudden, when the precipitation gets really heavy or you get ice from hail, well, what happens there? What happens when you shine a flashlight in a mirror? It comes back right at you, right? It reflects back at you. We call this reflectivity radar, the radar reflectivity, because it's reflecting back to the radar. So the heavier the rain and or ice will reflect more than light rain, right? So that's why light rain is green, heavy rain and hail would be red and or purple if it got even heavier than that. So that's what you're looking at here, and this is what you see on your apps, right? Well, now you're also able to see where that precipitation gets lighter, and you can kind of see that little curl or that little hook right here, and that's where we're thinking that's one of the better spots for rotation. So now, after looking at this, let's peer into it. Let's look at the rotation, what we call a storm relative, or I'm sorry, the storm relative velocity here, and that's where, again, it's a little bit. You know,
it's trying.
But it's nothing. The good news, and I hope that, you know, that this brings kind of a sigh of relief to folks. Well, let's look at the next one. There are two little kinks here, is that there's nothing overly strong that we're seeing, but we need to remind ourselves, Steph, for a time last night, we were looking at this in somewhat of the same area going, doesn't look too bad. And then the next scan came in and poof, right? It really
absolutely
popped up. So we really need to remain alert, because very, very quickly, the rotation can tighten in any one of these areas. So that's where I don't want to just say, nope, everything looks good right now. It's going to be fine for the rest of the county. We don't know that yet, because each scan is changing. And this is almost an identical situation to what happened last night. So Steph, I mean, it really is deja vu to an extreme here tonight.
Yeah. And you know, it's interesting because we were watching that stalled front all day long, and it seemed to be kind of meandering north and south, but it did dip south a little bit. So I guess it's not terribly surprising that this tornadic activity is favoring some of these southern counties, but still just not what you want to see after, you know, the National Weather Service was out surveying these exact areas earlier today.
Yes.
We had that confirmed EF1 tornado towards the southwest of East Troy. These spots do not need any more of this action.
Right.
Oh,
okay.
great.
Yeah, Jeff, I'm sorry. What was that about East Troy? Okay. Let's take a look at that video from East Troy from earlier. We're looking at this together here. This is from Ronnie Nelson. Ronnie, thank you for sending this in to us here. Look at the lightning. And remember, Steph, we talked the lightning last night too, and we're seeing that again tonight. I'm just going to kind of be quiet here so we can listen. Yeah, just an intense storm.
You can tell the wind is strong too in this video. I know it's a short clip, but you can just tell.
And heavy rain too, right? And that's the other thing. And, you know, we don't want folks going out and looking at this, because you're not going to see anything, right, in terms of a tornado.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, I'm just looking at the hail tracker downtown Milwaukee. Sorry to bounce back and forth a little bit, but the hail core is increasing right over downtown. So we may have some hail now. Boy, that really is increasing, isn't it, Steph?
Yeah, it really is.
Right
over the city.
Yeah, it literally went from nothing. And again, we're pretty much right over the downtown area here.
And I believe we have one of our producers, I believe, lives in Milwaukee. And I've been seeing no reports of hail in our, just station chat, but a lot of really heavy rain videos. But it will be interesting to see maybe if they're watching right now and they see hail or hear hail, maybe just right in our group, so we have a better idea of what's happening in the city. Can
we go back to the reflectivity here?
Yes.
Let's see if that kind of matches right in that area. And I mean, it does. You can see those deeper reds. Remember how we discussed the flashlight in the mirror kind of thing? And that's, so that does certainly match with quite a bit of hail there, and likely extremely heavy rain. In fact, well, let's take a look. Jeff, are you able to pull up our downtown camera for us? If you can, otherwise we can do it back here too. You got it? Okay, thank you. Let's take a look because, again, and I don't want to take away from this tornado warning. We are still continuing to monitor that. But when we have a linear storm like this, look at this.
Look at that lightning.
Yeah, current conditions right over downtown. We need to make sure that we're monitoring every portion of this line because we have a flooding threat into Milwaukee, possibly a little bit of a hail threat over downtown right now, the torrential rain, and the lightning as well. So we'll stay on this here for a minute as we are continuing in the background as well to get more information about the tornado warning that is just about to expire. As we're looking at Milwaukee here, we'll just kind of verbally mention the tornado warning that is about to expire.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
You can barely see the buildings downtown.
Yeah, this is an intense storm. And again, the hail core has really increased here as well. And that is something that, I think Milwaukee, just very heavy rainfall, flooding, a big concern here as well. And just getting another report here from Elkhorn. Speaking of hail, Elkhorn 1-inch diameter hail. So that's quarter size hail. Good news is, no reports of tornadoes at this point or damage, which is good. Now you're taking a live look over downtown Milwaukee. This is our camera from City Center looking north up Water Street. And you can see, again, the torrential rain that continues to fall here. And flooding is going to be a big problem in Milwaukee tonight. In fact, what's interesting, Stephanie, is we're 20 minutes north of downtown here in Brown Deer, and the heavy rain is totally stopped.
Yeah, it's a little quieter.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
I'll kind of zoom things out.
Yeah, just a few miles can make all the difference.
Yeah.
So again, we're monitoring Milwaukee, Waukesha. We are monitoring you as well. All of our areas now, we are monitoring.
Hail report that you're about to get from the printer.
Okay, what is that one?
That's another 1 inch.
Hale's Corners. Interesting, Steph, because that was where we were seeing the hail perk up.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where Sam Kramer is as well, or at least I think he was driving through there. I believe he said he was on his way to Franklin, so I'm not sure he's there still. But it'll be interesting maybe to chat with him later on to see if he experienced any of that.
Is this our Marquette interchange cam, Jeff? I think it is.
It's hard to tell.
Look at this lightning. You can kind of see the cars.
Barely.
It is. It's a Market interchange. Wow. Look at that. There's zero visibility. And obviously the lightning, there's likely hail within here. Very, very heavy rainfall. Again, you are taking a live look from our downtown Milwaukee camera pointed at the Marquette interchange right now. And this is what a severe thunderstorm looks like. One of many with flooding rains, some hail, gusty winds, but the rain and the lightning are the big issues here. Right? That's incredible, Stephanie.
Yeah, this is dangerous to travel into. Even just the rain I just drove in was not fun to travel in. But when visibility is this low, especially at night when it's already hard to see.
And I mean, just look at the lines of cars here, right? And it's the traffic. Look, see the guy with his hazards on.
They're probably moving very slow.
Very slow. Absolutely.
I know a lot of times in rain this heavy, you put your hazards on so that everybody else can tell that you're going slower. Yep. I mean, you got to do what you got to do in rain this heavy.
Let's go back to the warnings. Jeff will come back to the cameras. Let's go back to the warnings because within the next minute, we're going to have this warning drop out. So this is going to be for you folks in eastern Walworth County into far northwestern portions of Kenosha County and southwestern portions of Racine County. Within 1 minute, you're going to see that drop out at 8:45. And I assume we have not seen anything that they are going to reissue that portion, and I doubt they would, simply given the fact that the storm is moving into Racine and farther into Racine and Kenosha County.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is Spring Prairie, Honey Lake, Lyons, Burlington. You are all going to be lifted here within the next 30 seconds, and this is going to go down to Wheatland as well. So let's see here as this drops out. Oh, my, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so our producer, Maddie, who lives downtown.
Look at that water.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Water and Cass.
Oh,
my goodness. So we're going to turn this video. Fire hydrant just blew at Water and Cass. And so it is just pouring. I mean, in addition to the rain, it is absolutely pouring there. All right, both of them are gone.
Oh, fantastic.
They just dropped both.
with the National
That's
Weather
great.
Service.
That's
the latest
wonderful that both of those just dropped because, yeah, they canceled it.
Wow,
Look at
that's
that.
great. Okay,
that's
good
great
news there.
Yep, and let's go back to the radar here. So again, folks in Racine and Kenosha counties, you can come out of your tornado-safe spot. This one, to us, appeared. Now, could we have had tornadoes? Yes. In addition to straight line winds, we still could have the straight line wind component, and we could still have rotation along this line. So cities of Racine and Kenosha, Salem, all these areas, we're still going to be watching this very closely for you. And should something perk up, there could be another tornado warning issued within the next few minutes. So we'll be watching this very closely for you. Although just comparing this to 24 hours ago, it looks like the rotation was a bit weaker along the line. So flooding is probably going to be your biggest issue, along with strong straight line winds. All right, so we're going to keep an eye on our southern counties. But again, tornado warnings are done for the time being. Flash flood warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings continue for a big chunk of the area. All right, let's go back up to Milwaukee. Let's take a live look here at downtown, and you can see the radar. So the most intense part of the storm is right over downtown Milwaukee, stretching to Lake Geneva. Let's look up north a little bit as well. In our northern communities, I know Sheboygan, you're saying, what about us? It is pouring rain. Talk about us a little bit. Yes, you do not have a warning in effect for you in Sheboygan, but you have very heavy rainfall, and note how it's ending in Fond du Lac, and it's getting lighter in Beaver Dam, and then heavier in West Bend. Let's look at the warnings real quick, Steph, the watches and warnings, and then we're going to get to our Christina Van Zels. Flash flood warnings in green. Severe thunderstorm warnings in the orange. And there's a severe thunderstorm watch for some that runs until about 10 o'clock tonight. I believe that was a 10 o'clock expiration time for that as well. So, again, let's check in with the Weather Service stuff here, too.
Yeah. Looks like they're still, watching that line that is moving through parts of Racine and Kenosha County. But at this point, there are no cells to really cause any issues. So there's, again, really good news as to why that tornado warning was canceled. Obviously, still worth mentioning, probably some strong wind out of that at the very least.
Oh, yes. And
going through Racine and Kenosha County as we speak.
Correction, the severe thunderstorm watch runs until midnight.
Oh, yes.
I think I got that confused maybe with last night's.
It all runs together,
yeah, right.
doesn't it,
It's all running together now. But I think it won't run until midnight. I think that by 10, 11 o'clock, most of this is going to kind of start to settle down. But so, again, strong winds in the orange shaded area. No tornado warnings at this point. And I'm telling you, flash flooding is going to be the biggest threat out of this whole thing. Let's talk to Christina Van Zels. Christina, fill us in on where you are right now and what you're experiencing.
Yeah, hey, Tom. We are in West Allis near 84th and Greenfield. We are standing safely underneath a gas station here. I got to tell you, this is a lot calmer than the rain we saw. Honestly, just 2 minutes ago, it was raining sideways over the building. We actually had to pull over because it was very hard to see. We were driving on 94, and that was already starting to have some sitting water that was just piling up, and it was hard to see and drive. This is a lot calmer, though. We were seeing rushing water heading down Greenfield Avenue this way. Again, the rain has lightened up a little bit in the last 5 minutes or so, but you can also see the water sort of coming down this way and making its way to the street there. And when we were driving around on 94 near the State Fairgrounds, that area was starting to flood pretty bad. You can see when some cars come by, the water that they splash up on the sides of the roads. So this is not rushing water that we were just seeing, but again, roads are starting to have that water sit and flood, and we are going to be out here on the roads just checking out areas that have been problematic in the past. And here you can see that one car coming up here on Greenfield Avenue where that sitting water is. It's a little bit hard to see when you're driving too, so if you do have to go out, make sure you stay safe. Tom, for now, we'll send it back to you from Greenfield and 84th here in West Allis.
All right, Christina, thank you so much. Thanks for kind of giving us a visual on that. That really helps. And hearing from viewers as well, they had some hail in Waukesha earlier. I don't have a size on that, but I would imagine we had a little bit of hail here and there as well. But again, the overarching threat is going to be flooding rain. Steph, let's take a look at the radar because the heaviest of the rain is pushing right through Milwaukee, Racine, and Walworth counties right now. Waukesha, you're getting better. It's still raining at a real good clip, right? But not as heavy as it was just a few minutes ago. And you heard Christina as well. She's just getting out of the very heavy core of rain. Kenosha, you're going, what? It's a beautiful night. It's dry out here. Not for long. This is coming for you here in the next couple of minutes. Same for Racine. So it's going to get very, very heavy in the rain department, but only for somewhat of a brief time here. And speaking of Racine County, northern Racine County, I think not far from Raymond, although he's on the move. Let's check in with our Sam Kramer here in northern Racine County in our chase vehicle. Sam, what do you got going on?
Hi, Tom. We are going south on 76, so County Highway U toward 5 Mile Road, and we're actually getting alerted on our phones about a tornado warning that I believe has expired. So still providing us that warning. I can tell you though, having gone through I-41 south to 43 and getting off, we're still getting alerted. We went through some of the thick hail, heavy rain. The freeways were starting to not pool, but starting to pick up some water to the point where you can feel it underneath the tires. I believe we had felt some of the hail as we came through Hales Corners into Franklin, and then again turned south at 76th Street. So right now it's a steady rainfall. Visibility isn't the best, but right now it seems to be passable. It's certainly the best conditions we've seen in a little bit.
Wow. Well, Sam, you mentioned that you did experience some hail.
Yeah, first off, we actually thought we had some earlier when we were getting onto the freeway. Got on, where was that? Around Watertown Plank in Wauwatosa, taking 41 to 43, and felt some of that. And then as soon as we got into Hales Corners, getting off at Highway 100 on 108, as you see some more lightning down here, that's when we believe we caught some of it too. So this is the video you're seeing on your screen right now is when we were on the freeway. You see cars going on in their flashers, big flashes of lightning over the top of us. And as soon as you stopped or actually went underneath the underpasses, such a relief to then go beneath that bridge on the other side, just get hit again by this wall of water. And so we're gonna, let's see, we're at County Highway K. I mean, Tom, which way do you want us to go here, east or west?
I would go east.
Let's go.
Go east, and
Let's
then
go east, so left.
yep, and then you'll be kind of coming out of the edge of the storm, and then the storm will kind of run back over you, so to speak.
Yeah. I don't know if you can hear it right now, but visually it looks like we've got hail bouncing on the street.
Okay.
And this is certainly heavier than what we were just in and just talking to. So it does seem like that's what we're dealing with.
Sam, let's stay on with Sam here. Sam, I don't know, they probably will not put this onto the cell phone, but this is a new flash flood warning that has just been issued. And this is for Kenosha County, Racine County, and Walworth County, and that is going to run until midnight. That is in addition to the flash flood warnings that are in effect for Southeast Dodge, Northeast Jefferson, Milwaukee, Ozaki, Washington, and Waukesha until 11. Is that what's coming through over there, Sam? I'm hearing the beeping.
Yes, that is the warning here on our photographer Colin Schemenauer's phone. So we're getting all the beeps right now, which is an indicator of where we are, I suppose.
Yeah, you're right in the thick of this, and we'll bring Steph back in here as well. And
there's a large area of our viewing area under a flash flood warning right now.
Absolutely, and again, Sam, you're in the heaviest of the rain right now, so you are literally in the core of this squall line. I think that we're really not seeing any notches any longer, so we're really not concerned. There are no tornado warnings in effect. And doesn't mean it can't happen, but we're not seeing anything too crazy in that regard. One of the things, though, that I'm starting to see a little bit more of are the winds picking up. And that would be, Sam, if you're heading east, it would kind of be the wind at your back, so to speak. But we're getting some stronger wind signatures from Oak Creek down to Wind Point and over to Caledonia and Franksville as well, and that's going to be heading into Racine. So expect the wind to pick up there, and it does look like on the back side of the system as a whole, which would be northern Waukesha County, where your rain has weakened. It looks like something that we call a meso low pressure system, or a meso low, will be getting those winds cranking up again behind the system in northern Waukesha County.
And sometimes those could still be strong, between 40 and 50 miles per hour.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sorry, Jeff, you said we have hail. Yeah. Let's do hail in North Prairie from earlier here. And then we're going to take you to AmFam. Oh, look at that. That's some decent size. That's some decent size hail.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a lot of it. See, you know, so that is heavy rain and hail there. So thank you so much for sending that in from North Prairie. Yeah, you know the rain is heavy when, Steph?
Yeah.
When the roof leaks.
When the roof leaks, exactly. Wow.
At American Family Field here tonight. And yeah, you know, the roof, again, thankfully we have a roof, right? It lasts several months. Very thankful. But, you know, of course, when the rain gets heavy enough, sometimes even the roof can't withstand it, right?
Although they probably did not have to go down to the basement.
Correct. Like last night.
Like last night in this situation.
Right.
So
Which
I guess there's a positive there.
Absolutely. So, again, thank you for the video there from American Family Field. But isn't that a testament? And I think we've probably all been to a Brewers game at one point where you hear the rain on the roof and then you go, uh-oh, it's starting to come in because it's so heavy. All right, just to kind of recap these warnings here as we're closing in on 9 o'clock, the severe thunderstorm warnings for Racine, Kenosha, and eastern Walworth County. Well, the eastern Walworth County one will expire here in about 3 minutes at 9 o'clock. The Racine and Kenosha ones go until 9:15, and this is for 60-mile-per-hour winds and small hail. So bottom line with this is Walworth County, you're going to be looking much better here as we head into the 9 o'clock hour. It's going to be a good 15, 20 minutes before the worst of this weather heads into Kenosha. So Kenosha, because of the angle of this, and you're used to this, you always get it last, right? And look at this. And I will say this, Stephanie, aren't you glad this thing rolled out over the lake?
Really?
Because I would be willing to bet you,
Mm-hmm.
that's a little Boeing segment. You're going to have very strong winds likely coming out of that, but we don't have to worry about it because it's out over the lake there. So again, the concern for the heaviest part of this line is straight where Sam was in Racine County, stretching straight back to Burlington. Burlington, it's loud, isn't it? You got a lot of lightning, a lot of thunder, but no rotational issues, no tornado issues to worry about. Waterford, where you had tornadic activity yesterday, no tornado warnings right now. So that is good news. Now, I will say this, once this line passes, we want to hear from our viewers. We want to hear from you once everything is kind of safe and moved out, if there is any damage. Because obviously with the storms last night, we had considerable damage in spots. We hope that outside of flooding, which I think we're going to have a lot of, I'm hopeful that the damage end of it is not as powerful as it was or as bad as it was last night. That's the hope here. But from a rotational standpoint, we're not seeing anything too concerning, but we've got to get this part of the line through Kenosha. We've got to get this part of the line out over the lake, and then any severe threat will be done. So that's why the severe thunderstorm warnings for Racine and Kenosha run until 9:15. So we've got another 15 minutes on that. Here is the Wauwatosa-Milwaukee border from Sam. And boy, Wauwatosa and Milwaukee both have been hit hard. Yes, viewer Sam. Sorry, yes. Sam Panko, not Sam Kramer, who's down in Racine.
And again, you can see just the same visual here. A lot of lightning, a lot of really heavy rain. It doesn't look like maybe as much as ponding in this specific video, but this also was a bit ago. So there could absolutely be more at this point. That's just the trend with these storms. Now, the good news is that even here at the station, the rain is a lot lighter than what it was previously. Is this Sam's current, our Sam Kramer's current view in our vehicle? So he, again, is in the thick of this. So the rain, again, is still coming down at a very heavy clip here. But as I was just mentioning, it is getting a little lighter towards the north and towards the west. So this really is the main event in Racine as well as Kenosha County.
Okay, our producer, Maddie Stelk. Maddie, are you here with us? Is she able to talk to us? Oh, there she is.
Maddie.
What's up, Maddie?
Yes. This is the only jacket I had for this weather. I know you'd be so disappointed in me, Tom. But yeah, I'm on the Lower East Side right now. I've just been walking around, just looking at this. This is crazy. I haven't seen anything like it before. I'm going to flip my camera. Things have calmed down a lot since a video I sent in earlier, but that fire, just looking at this. This is crazy. I haven't seen anything like it before. I'm going to flip my camera. Things have calmed down a lot since a video I sent in earlier, but that fire hydrant over there burst, which caused a lot of flooding over here. I don't know if you can see just the trail of it going down. Again, a lot better than it was literally just 10 minutes ago, but yeah, this is what we're dealing with downtown right now. It's crazy.
Wow. Well, Maddie, you're turning into a storm chaser.
Tom, you've inspired me, honestly. No, and I'm staying safe. I'm close to shelter right here. I'm at a friend's place. So yes, we're all good. But yes, this is wild. And we appreciate what you're doing. And Tom, we've been watching. So everybody be safe and keep watching so you can stay informed.
All right. Well, you too, Maddie, thank you so much. Thanks. And you stay safe as well. Thank you again for all of your reports. We are going to start Fox 6 News at 9 right now with more weather coverage.
With stories that matter to you. Fox 6 News at 9 starts right now with breaking news.
And that is our big story tonight at 9. Another round of storms, heavy rain, wind, lightning. You can see the radar right there just lighten up.
It's been another night that tornado sirens have sounded in southeast Wisconsin.
And flash flooding, a major concern right now. Severe weather pushing through yet again tonight. Let's kick it right to Chief Meteorologist Tom Walks in the Storm Center. Tom, bring us up to date there.
All right. Well, flash flooding is the biggest issue now. In fact, we're hearing from the Walworth County Sheriff's Office that County Highway H is flooded near Gateway Tech. So you want to avoid that area. I would say avoid being out on the roads at all right now because there's likely a lot of flooding. Let's get into the radar. I'll show you this and we're going to kind of do a warning recap of what's going on. So as we look at the radar here, what you're noticing is the strong line of thunderstorms is located from just east of Milwaukee, just out over the lake now, so it's getting lighter. You've probably noticed that in Milwaukee just in the last few minutes. The worst of the weather is heading into the city of Racine and Wind Point right now. Kenosha, you are still dry, but not for long. Within about the next 15 to 20 minutes, you're going to experience this storm. Now, it's not going to last terribly long, at least the heaviest part of it won't last terribly long, but the flooding is going to be the biggest concern. And my colleague meteorologist, Stephanie Baracella, my partner in crime here, she's so amazing. She's worked all day and now she came back tonight. So thank you, Stephanie. Let's take a look at the warnings and show you what's going on because we do have an update here. Number one, the Racine and Kenosha severe thunderstorm warnings are going to run until 9:15, and that is for some wind and hail. But what I want you to note here is we don't have any tornado warnings in effect right now, and unless something changes in the next 15-20 minutes, we're not expecting any more to be issued. For most areas, except for the areas I just outlined in eastern Racine and eastern Kenosha counties, the worst of the storm is over with from a severe thunderstorm standpoint. But now what do you notice? The green. These are flash flood warnings that are going to take us late into the evening and to around midnight in some areas. And if you were watching Fox 6 News last night, we had water rescues just down the street from our television station live on our air. And I'm fearful that we could be dealing with more of that tonight with flooded roads. So at least the heaviest of the rain is starting to come to an end, but we still have rain out there, and that's going to continue for the next couple of hours. There is a severe thunderstorm watch for some as well, including Milwaukee, that runs until midnight. I think that's going to be let go early as the severe weather threat shifts out over the lake. So, Steph, let's look one more time at the radar, and then we're going to head back into our newsroom to kind of talk about various storm reports and what we've got going on across the area. But again, it's this line. So Lake Geneva, you're just on the other side of it now from the real severe and heavy stuff. That's moving to your east. So it's eastern Racine, east of the interstate, and most of Kenosha County still left to go here with the strong storms. That's, again, going to last for about 15 to 30 minutes. It'll probably take about 15 to 20 to get into Kenosha, and then it'll probably last a good 20 minutes at its heaviest, and then move out over the lake. Let's zoom this out a little bit because we want to talk about our northern counties as well, where we are getting heavy rain, Sheboygan and West Bend, but look at the cutoff here. Fond du Lac to Beaver Dam, just some light rain now. So at least that is the good news, is we're seeing the lighter rain. Now there's more what we call stratiform rain. That's fancy term for just steady rain off to the west towards Madison. So this is going to continue for a bit longer. And one more request, Steph, if we can zoom this out and go to the SAT-RAD, I just want to see kind of more off to the west because I'm seeing a couple of lightning bolts out there in Iowa. So you can see just how long we're on the northern edge of this line. So the good news is this will pass us by here by about midnight, I would say at the latest, probably earlier than that. We now just need to watch this area to see if anything else is going to develop. This will probably be our morning batch that comes in late in the overnight into the morning. All right, with that, you're caught up to speed. Again, flooding is now the main issue. Let's get back to our studio, and we'll be back with a weather update in just a moment. Guys, back
Tom,
over to you.
I actually want to keep you here because we got a situation out on the interstate, a couple of spots here. I-43 at Mitchell completely shut down because all lanes are blocked from flooding, both directions. And also we got some issues, City of Milwaukee, I-43 northbound, Mineral Street. So, I mean, if you could just show us that's a live picture of the interstate right now. It's just completely stopped there. It looks like going one direction now, but not out of the woods yet with our flooding.
Correct. So let's go to our local radar here. I'm going to stop this. I'm going to zoom you in. In fact, I'll broaden this out because you can kind of get a better idea. See how it's green and yellow here. So the reason why this flooding happened, I'm going to take you back just a little bit. All right, so let's go back 20 minutes ago, 20, 30 minutes ago. You see all that heavy rain? It was just dumping right over the city. Well, now the heaviest of the rain is moving out. So that likely means a couple of things. Can we take that shot of the brake lights again? Because I think that really tells the story of the interstate closure here. Is that, yeah, I mean, look at this. So again, I don't know the specifics behind this. If cars are stuck in the water, that sort of a thing, because that's going to complicate matters if indeed that's the case, and we're efforting more information on that. But again, you're seeing an interstate closure right now because of the torrential amount of rain that happened in a short amount of time just within the last, oh, look at this.
Oh, yeah.
This is a Chase. Wow. Yep. Okay. So
you
here,
can see the water flowing too.
Yeah. So here we are. This is right at Chase Avenue, and look at the cars stuck in the water, and look at this car driving through it. You hope that they don't get stuck here as well. And see, here's the problem: you drive through this, and it doesn't take much to get your car stuck. And once you're stuck, you're stuck, right? I mean, your car it's not going anywhere, and boy, so now here's the question. So as I'm looking at this, I'm also wondering, is this on the interstate? It is. This is on the interstate. Wow. Okay, so yeah, so here's, yep, so this is why we have the backup, because obviously, first of all, you have the water, but second of all, you have these cars that are stalled in the middle of the interstate. And look at these cars. Look at these cars turning around. You can see, no, is he going through it? No, You're live on television. Don't do it. We're going to call you out on it.
Oh, yeah.
That's a horrible idea.
This is when we keep saying, turn around, don't drown people. The instinct is to keep plowing through. But, the minute that they see that, and it's difficult for law enforcement to put up the barricades because this is just happening. Like last night when we left here, shortly after 11 o'clock, they had shut down a section of Green Bay Road, not the whole thing, but we were detoured into a neighborhood, and then got back on Green Bay to get to 43. Again, emergency crews out there, undoubtedly have not had the opportunity to put those barricades up, but it's incumbent upon everybody to, when you see that pooling, when you see those puddles, to stop immediately, because like you said, when you're stuck, you're stuck.
Right, and it happens so fast.
Right.
Now look at this. Look at everyone turning around. See, that's the smart move to do, especially, I mean, anytime you see floodwaters, don't do what this person is doing and driving through it.
Yeah.
And then if you see floodwaters and you see cars stuck in the floodwater, that's another indicator that you really don't want to drive through it. You know what I mean? Again,
Tom, I'm getting another alert. This is a flash flood warning, so we've got issues popping up all over the area. I'm going to start with just what came in on Marquette's campus.
Look at this video.
This is 35th and Center in Milwaukee. And then as we're looking at this, I want to tell you about another area, 15th and Kilbourne. That's coming from Marquette University. But, yeah, this is 35th and Center, and this is Tanner Hemker, who can hear us and can talk to us right now. This is a repeat of last night, Tom, isn't it?
100%. And, you know, you see the rain still pouring here. So this is going to continue for the next couple of hours. And much like we saw last night, how this will play out, and what I fear is what's going to be playing out here, if it's not already, is cars are stuck, as we saw on the interstate. We probably have cars stuck elsewhere, and we just don't have those reports yet. Water rescues then have to take place, right? Which means the fire department and the police department, they come out and they have to rescue the folks who are stuck in their cars because they're doing this. Yeah. And you know, this is something that we often, we try to harp over and over again, don't do this, because if the water continues to come up, or, you know, the water hits your car just at the right angle, it's going to shut your car down and you're stuck.
Right. Do we say that Tanner cannot hear us? You can. Tanner, can you make out what we're saying here?
Pretty hectic out here. We're water up to the curb here. A lot of cars are parked with me in this little parking lot that's kind of up on a curb here, but it's pretty crazy how many people are driving through this. I can't tell if this car's stuck or if he's just turning. But yeah, it's flowing out here, and it's only getting worse. So I'm waiting it out personally.
Yeah, it looks as though the person is trying to turn. Do you see any emergency personnel out there? We haven't seen any so far.
No, guys, I've been trying to navigate my way home for the last hour, kind of taking different side streets. It's crazy how many different pools of water there are at intersections. I haven't seen any emergency vehicles out yet anyways.
We're getting lots of reports. They're all over the area. Sam Kramer just making a good point here. The Brewers game just ended. And, guys, as the Brewer game ends, new alert to tell you about. I-94 at 25th Street. That's in the area of American Family Field. So all these Brewers fans are literally going out to their cars, and they're heading out onto the roads right now. And so if you know someone who went to the Brewers game tonight, listen up. You may want to call them and have them just hang out for a bit and let this water recede, because there is, again, reports. I'm just looking at our breaking news channel. I mean, new reports coming in all over the city of Milwaukee, all over Waukesha, Walworth County, Racine County. The flooding is widespread throughout our area right now. And law enforcement, as you're seeing from Tanner's amazing shot here at 35th and Center, they cannot go to every spot. We do know the fire department. They made 50 water rescues just yesterday. They have been called to several scenes tonight. But again, I'm just telling you right now, if you know somebody who was at the Brewers game tonight, you may want to call them right now and let them know there is flooding on streets all throughout southeast Wisconsin.
Ben, can I interrupt you here too? Sorry, we're just hearing from the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office. We knew there's a full freeway closure underway southbound I-43 at Beecher due to flooding, but a full closure is imminent northbound I-43 at Holt. So northbound,
thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Northbound I-43 at Holt is about to be closed. Thanks. And again, all of this plays into, Ben, what you were just talking about with the Brewers game ending, because the folks that don't know about this are going to be in for a rude surprise when they're stuck in traffic on the interstate here. So just like Ben said, reach out if you can to folks leaving the Brewers game and let them know that we have significant flooding around the city right now.
Now, that area that we're talking about now, that's a low area, correct? And so it's going to be prone to the flooding?
It looks like that, Mary, yes. And you know how we see the dips, right? So, you know, you drive and you get into like just a little lower area where the water pools. That, at least from the vantage point where we saw the car stuck on the right-hand side there, that's my guess as to what we're seeing. And you're not seeing it on the right side of your screen, again, because you don't have that similar type of dip where the water is collecting.
Okay, I think we got to take a quick break here, but guys, this is breaking news here. You're watching Fox 6 News at 9. Flash flood warning, and it is affecting all of our counties right now. So stay with us. We're back in 60 seconds.
Back now, and we are so glad you are with us because there is a lot going on. This is like deja vu, not quite as intense as last night, but look, right now you are looking at the scene playing out all around the Milwaukee area. This is I-43 on the south side right now, and as we have just been covering this, the timing couldn't be any worse. Brewers game just letting out, and so that entire area right there impacted, as we'll show you in just a little bit, by the heavy volume of traffic, the wet roads, the ponding. It's just a nightmare scenario.
That scene on the right, that's Chase Avenue. Now, it's a little hard to see if you're just joining us. That dark area under the bridge, there's several cars. I mean, look closely at your screen there. Several cars that went through deep water, all got stuck, and then the cars behind had nowhere to go, and so it's just backing up. We're hearing there's going to be a full freeway closure in just moments here because we do see vehicles going northbound, but that is just one area of the interstate that's affected right now in Milwaukee County. I-94 at 25th Street's having issues. That's closer to American Family Field. Mary just said it. The Brewers game just ended, so all these fans are going out on the roads. There's a lot of people out on the roads anyway. And I can just go through the list here. I mean, Marquette University says do not go anywhere near their campus because there are streets flooded around that part of town, which is not far, obviously, from American Family Field either. So let's get to Tom Walks, who's following this, because the concern right now, Tom, now that the storms have kind of moved out, the flash flooding remains.
Yeah, I mean, and you guys, what we're seeing here is obviously terrible with the flash flooding right now, but let me try to give you some good news, try to kind of give you the glass half full approach here. The heaviest rain is moving out of Milwaukee. So at least what that means is eventually we're going to see that water receding. But problem is you have cars that are stuck. We haven't heard at this point, but you've got to also assume that there are water rescues that are underway. Clearly, people are stuck on the interstate right now in the water, and you have to think that in other parts of the city, we're probably seeing similar situations playing out because of all of the heavy rain. But from a radar standpoint and from a weather standpoint, the heaviest of the rain is coming to an end. Yes, it's still raining, but it is, I mean, look at this. This is, did you say Locust and
Fond du Lac?
Fond du Lac. Mm-hmm. Wow. Look at this. So here we are. Oh,
there's a lot of standing water.
Wow. I mean, that is an incredible amount of water. So as we were water and Cass. Okay, so here we are downtown or east. Yeah, we'll go downtown area. Yeah, and oh my goodness. Oh, look at that. Again, not what you're supposed to do here. Downtown Milwaukee, look at all of that water.
Guys, you just showed Locust. just coming across I-43 southbound Locust, all lanes blocked one direction. So the southbound lanes at I-43, you're talking about the dips.
Yep.
There's another one, I-43.
Oh, absolutely.
I-43, Mary, is a disaster tonight.
Totally shut down. This is I-43 in Locust, and that has been shut down right now, we are told. And guys, the one thing that we haven't talked about.
Look at that shot.
Yeah, all these roads, as you can see, they're flooded. The rain may have stopped, but now we're dealing with the aftermath of not only the cars, but the power outages. We have been told that the outages are up to 9,900 right now, almost 10,000, up from just about 1,200 about an hour ago. So these power outages, let's take a look at this map right here, have surged. Right now, again, 9,911. The majority of those in Milwaukee County. Nearly 6,500 people without power, and you can see Waukesha, far behind there, but still, this underscores the importance of keeping your cell phone charged and just making sure that you have the apps on your phones. And yes, we can see that this is flooded completely. In the infield there at American Family Field.
That's the parking lot. So we're just saying, tell your friends not to. That's the parking lot, guys, to get out of there at American Family Field. We're saying, call your friends, tell them, don't get on the road. Apparently they know, because look at the parking lot, guys.
Yeah.
Is that spilling onto the interstate?
It would appear, yeah, you're looking at a live picture right now.
Unbelievable.
And you can see all of that. Just the amounts, the intensity, as you guys say, the velocity of the rain right there, it looks as though, from our vantage point, just kind of spilling over. And you can see how many cars right there, just a few right there, if you look at the right of your screen, stuck with their hazards on.
I'm not convinced that's the parking lot anymore. Is that the road that gets you onto the interstate?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
That's Miller Park Way.
Yeah, we're looking at Miller Park Way.
Yeah.
Because look, that's the on-ramp there. So that's Miller Parkway, and that's the parking lots on the left of American Family Field. Look at that shot.
And we've all taken that road. I mean, that's your direct access as you get right back on the interstate there to get home. And those cars are going nowhere fast. And again, this happening so quickly, there's only so many emergency personnel in the area. They have a large swath of an area to cover, but this happens so fast, they're not going to be able to get there presumably for quite some time. Not quite there yet. Look at that, when we do that split screen there, you can see this traffic there has come just to a standstill. So many cars not able to get through. But again, we can't emphasize enough. You see those roads. If you know anybody who is out and about in this, you never drive through that standing water.
I just got a report from our producer, Tim Van Voren, our sports director, is in the ballpark. He says no one's being allowed to leave right now, which to me is a really good thing that the Brewers are doing. So right now, everyone's hanging. Look at this car trying to go south on Miller Parkway. It looks like it's a boat as it's crawling along there.
Wow.
I'm looking at the CAD, which is the 911 emergency call, guys, as it's lighting up. We're talking all areas of the city of Milwaukee are having calls right now for stranded cars, people who have driven in standing water. And we've talked about the warning here, guys, that this rain has just piled up and the ground cannot take it anymore. So even though the rain may have been a little less hard than last night, there was nowhere for this water to go tonight. And this is incredible what we're seeing live on your screen right here. Again, this is American Family Field, looking down there at the roads around the ballpark.
Yeah, exactly. And the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office posting a full freeway closure. This coming in right about 9:15 tonight, just several minutes ago, but a full freeway closure underway southbound 43 at Beecher because of all the flooding, and a full closure imminent northbound I-43 at Holt. So they are telling people, don't try to even come out, stay off the roads. If you do have to drive, please avoid those areas, as to not prevent any more any more cars stuck or any emergency response calls that they have to get through. So again, southbound 43 at Beecher closed, and they are efforting the northbound I-43 at Holt. Presumably that may be closed by now. This came in just about 15 minutes ago.
My nanny just sent me a photo, guys. This is not an interstate problem. She's a Marquette student. I'm going to try and get this on the air here.
Boy.
The roads around Marquette it looks like a river.
It looks like,
all the cars are flooded right now. So this is not just an interstate problem. This is and we've been focusing the last few minutes on Milwaukee County. We have not forgot about you. In Kenosha, Walworth, Racine counties, we're getting reports all over the area. There is flooding tonight. Holly and Pierce, this is a new shot for us. Not live, so this is over by State Fair Park. And you could just see the amount of water they are dealing with tonight.
Yeah, cars just driving through there, and again, hoping that they can make that through there. The rain, as you can see there, and as Tom and Stephanie have mentioned, seems to have dissipated, seem to have stopped for the most part. But this flooding isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Realize this is not day one or day two. This is day three of this, that we are trying to figure out where all this water is going to go. Right now, we are looking at people are out of their cars right now, and this is the area right in the ballpark there that we have been showing you. We're trying to get a really close view there, but people just out of their cars right there at the ballpark. You were told they have been told they can't go anywhere. But
is he on his car?
At this point, they're looking like
That
is a firefighter, presumably attempting a rescue there, probably of the guy on the white car. You can see standing on a sunroof.
Yeah, he's right on there. This is Miller Parkway.
Yeah, and there's the firefighter there trying to help him. We don't know if anybody's in the car ahead of him. It doesn't look like it, that silver car. But
this is what firefighters are going to do. They're going to check and just ask everybody who's in their car, does anyone need... Is anyone having an emergency right now? As I mean, it's chaos kind of all throughout the city right now. They triage, so they're going. That firefighter who's doing a ballerina balancing act on the median as he's walking his way out to these flooded cars is going to check in with everybody and see if everybody's doing okay. There you can see another firefighter on the ground, and that person's coming right out the driver's side window.
Yeah, coming right out of the window with the other one standing by her. Christina Van Zels in that area. We're going to stay on this for just a bit, but Christina, we can at least have her chime in here because you just got to that area, Christina. I know that you were making your way there, and can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're right. Tell us exactly where you are.
Yeah, Mary, we're standing right over the interstate on I-94 by American Family Field. Want to just get you right out to the roads here where you can see how far traffic is backed up. We know the Brewers game just wrapped up. Look at that parking lot. Cars not moving at all. You can also see, Jake, I might have you come back to the highway where you can see some crews sort of trying to clear out the drains to get some of this water moving off of the interstate. You can see on both sides here heading eastbound just how much water is on the freeway. Again, it's down to one lane. Crews currently trying to clear a drain, it looks like, from this vantage point. So horrible timing, right? When you have the Brewers game ending and then all of this heavy rain, traffic both ways just really backed up here. So again, if you have to head out, stay safe, as it is hard to see when there is standing water on the interstate. But this crew just arrived here. As you can see, I'm kind of sweeping and clearing out what appears to be a clogged or flooded a drain there on the right side of the road.
From our vantage point, it looks as though this is an impossible task to try to get out of there. Traffic stretching presumably for miles down there. What are you seeing exactly? You kind of getting the same picture that a few cars trickling along there, but for the most part, nobody's really able to leave.
Yeah, Mary, the parking lot itself is really where the cars appear to not be moving at all. When you have the traffic down to one lane on our side going eastbound, it's moving, but it's moving slow. Then you have the other side of the interstate there also moving, but moving slowly. Traffic is backed up as far as I can see. So as the rain keeps coming down, crews are out here trying to get it fixed, but traffic, it's bad. And the rain has lightened up a little bit since the last 30 minutes or so. But again, it's very slow moving traffic. Of course, having the Brewers game end at this time doesn't help.
Christina, thanks. Let's get out to American Family Field. Our sports director, Tim Van Voren. Tim, where are you? You're right over it, aren't you? Where we're seeing this, that we've been watching these rescues live on our TV.
Yeah, it's crazy, guys. Obviously, here is a fan tonight, so apologize for the appearance, but it's appropriate, I think, here. What you can see here, if you can see below me here, We are on the bridge. If folks are familiar with American Family Field, this is the bridge that crosses Brewers Boulevard. As you're looking down here, you see fire folks on the road. You've seen people trying to come out of these cars, these vehicles down there. People were up on the roof of those vehicles right there. If I go back to this side, you can see, obviously, a lot of emergency vehicles. Cars are going absolutely nowhere. So this is Brewers Boulevard. You got fire engines and emergency vehicles down here. So this is Brewers Boulevard, walking back across. A lot of folks just coming out after the game thinking, you know, what are we getting into here? How are we going to be able to get home? So that was the major question. People have gone, for the most part, across the bridge at this point. Not exactly sure where they're going, if they're going to try to get out that way. I don't know if you guys can see here very well or not on the lighting. But
yeah, I mean, that's a great shot. Tim, and I want this message to get out to everybody, because this is a sliver, and I'm wondering what's going to happen with these Brewers fans, because if you get on the roadway, this is just a snapshot as what is happening all throughout the city of Milwaukee, all out on the interstate system, where there are closures on I-94, I-43, both north and south of the city. There's flooding in Walworth County, Racine County, Waukesha County, terrible flooding there. What kind of messaging did these fans get as the game ended?
You know, to be honest with you, no specific messaging. You know, there were some leaks inside the stadium tonight during the game. I sent some of that video back, and so you knew something was going on outside. Brewers win in dramatic fashion, and you walk out and boom, you're hearing the sirens. Emergency vehicles still trying to get down in here. No warning per se as to what they were going to walk out into. I was surprised, I'll tell you that. We walked out of the stadium. People were in a good mood. Brewers win. You get outside, you get over, you say, oh my gosh, what's going on there on the roadway? And again, I'll try to get in here for you guys if you can see that. And please direct me if I can give you a better shot. But, that is Brewers Boulevard right there. Brewers are supposed to play a day game here tomorrow as well. This is just quite a situation, obviously.
Yeah, it looks absolutely devastating to try to get out of there. And we also had seen some pictures, hopefully we can get those on air, of Marquette, that area as well. These are not just the major roadways, but Marquette, you're an alum, that area just got walloped right there. A lot of submerged cars that we had seen from that area, just a really treacherous area no matter where you are right now. But you've covered the Brewers, you're from Milwaukee. Have you ever seen anything like this, Tim, in the time that you've been here?
Not coming out after a game, Mary. No, not at all. There was a situation where they had major flooding at County Stadium many, many years ago. Had to, go through some postponements. People will remember large, just dumpings of rain, but not like this. Not during a game. Not when you walk out to this. Again, the Brewers won the game in dramatic fashion, and I would say that most people were unaware of what they were going to find when they came out here. I certainly was, and I think I would be representative of most people in the ballpark. You're watching the game, you knew it was running, you come outside, you take a look over the bridge.
Yeah, when we talk about the dangers, that we put a lot of focus on tornadoes, but the water can be the most dangerous thing. I'm just looking at some of the updates. I want to keep everybody up to speed here. Full closure northbound I-43 at Holt. We've been following I-94 at Chase. That is shut down. We've been seeing rescues on your screen here right outside the ballpark where Tim is. This is Locust I-43. That car's stuck. So all of these vehicles, look, those cars are going up the on-ramp. Tim, can you see from your vantage point how many vehicles are stuck? And we watched some of the firefighters go up to the vehicles checking on people. But I just wonder, is everybody okay? And how many vehicles are stuck there?
Yeah, I am looking south at the current time. There are 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 vehicles or so here in the immediate area. They all appear to have been cleared at this point. I guess I shouldn't say all, because the firefighters still do continue to go out there. Now, if you can look slightly to the west side there, that is the ramp into general parking and into where the players would park, etc. That is closed off right now. The only way out of there is on the To the south of that, I'm not sure if quite honestly, even if the players and folks are going to be able to get out that way to this point. This is certainly the lowest point near the ballpark. And again, I'm counting it at 10 cars or so here. Fire officials are on the scene, as you can see. I hope you can see with our shot here. And they're just out there trying to make sure everybody's safe. As you guys have been saying, safety is the number one concern here for sure. It's going to take a long time to clear this out, but you just hope everybody's okay.
Well, we're having flashbacks to all that flooding during the State Fair last August, kind of in that area, not there at Miller Park, of course, but State Fair, same type of thing, those low-lying areas there, just trying to absorb that water. It is just too much, too quick. And this came down really, really fast. So many people, caught off guard, so to speak, even though we knew the storms were forecast for the area. So it appears as though people are just, Tim, from what we can see, just waiting it out. Just where can we go?
Where are these people walking to? They're going to walk to their cars. And I don't know, as Tim said, if they've got a full grasp of how bad the interstate system is. I hope they don't think that what they're seeing on the bridge is the only thing that's happening out there. There is flooding in every direction. This is what happens during flash flooding. It takes no prisoners. And there is just, I'm looking at the interstate system, there's nowhere to go. I mean, if you get by here, you're just going to be driving into a new mess. I thought my ride home last night was terrible. When Brown Deer Road was shut down, I had to take a few back roads.
Yeah, and right now we are looking at 33rd and Chase right now. As we had just mentioned, there are so many full freeway closures right now. The Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office just telling people to avoid these areas as that full freeway closure underway at southbound 43 at Beecher and at Holt right now. They're just telling people stay off the road or take an alternative route if you can.
It's hard to see what we're looking at here. So look at the left of your screen, that dark area. That's under the bridge. That's southbound. Our producers just counted at least 4 vehicles are stuck in water right there, and nobody can get by here. I don't see any flashing lights. We did see law enforcement trying to get here, but guys, then all the vehicle backed up behind them, and this is now backing up all the way into downtown Milwaukee. But then when you get north of the city, there is another area just like this. So there's the backups from what we're looking at, and it's been a parking lot. These people aren't going anywhere, as there's no way to get around not only the water, Mary, but the vehicles that they got to somehow figure out. And this is going to be all throughout the area. When your engine floods, that's it. Your car ain't going anywhere, so you need a tow truck. They got to move all these vehicles.
Yeah, absolutely. Our producer, Maddie Stelt, right there on the Lower East Side, I believe she has made her way right over to the Brady area, where she is seeing, even on the Lower East Side there, a lot of flooding. In that car, that's one of the perfect illustration of what people could be waking up to tomorrow, what they could be coming, home to tonight, as we see good job on that car, whatever car that did, good on him or her to stop and not go through those waters. We say it all the time. We can't say it enough. Turn around, don't drown. Again, good on that car for doing just that, not trying to get through that water. It's dangerous. I mean, it could be life-threatening. Maddie, can you hear us? I'm not sure if she's got audio out there. Does she, Jeff? Yeah, Maddie, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of cars making the right decision, and now extra pressure because I've got them on video. But yeah, as you were saying, a lot of people, I'm at the underpass on water right off of Brady. I don't know if you can see Up Down right there. It's a very popular gaming bar. But yeah, some people are out here driving through this. It's crazy. We got like a pipe right there.
Yeah, we see that.
That's going off. Yeah, just a lot happening here.
And a lot of these people are taking risks, but honestly, that's probably not the first street that's looked like this that they've come across. New alert that just came across, Waukesha County, Brookfield, Wisconsin 190 eastbound, Fee Branch Drive. All lanes blocked there because of the same issue. Water on the roadway, cars are stuck. So Brookfield, you're in the thick of it. There's nowhere to go right now. You got to call your friends who are at American Family Field, and you got to tell them just hang on, because you got to wait this out. You got to let the water come down a bit.
Maddie, I looked away for a millisecond, looked back up. It looked like another car just went through there. Was I seeing that right?
Yeah, splash zone over here. Jeez, they just sped through there. I am now soaking wet, but it is okay. Yeah, it just shows they went so fast. I don't know if you saw how much water just went up there. It just kind of shows how deep it actually is.
Yeah. It looks as okay, that one went through. Here's another one just turning around, and that's a good thing. Again, I don't know, Maddie, can you just go back to is that a law enforcement that looks like maybe a?
Yes,
okay,
yeah,
good.
that actually is Milwaukee Police.
Great.
Looks like they're blocking this off now, which is good.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be driving through this right now.
Yeah. Well, wait a second, because think about it. That police officer's stopping, he's checking it out, and now he's out of here, and you're like, wait a second. You're probably
just
wondering,
kidding.
Why is he leaving the scene? But guys, I cannot tell you, this is what law enforcement's doing right now as I'm looking at the 911 calls. They're going from hotspot to hotspot, and the first thing they're checking on is everybody okay. They don't have the resources, because there are so many intersections that are like this, to stop and block it off. Right now, they're making sure that people's lives are okay. So what you're seeing, that guy was not going to do a traffic stop here and make sure people don't drive in. He's going to the next hotspot, because there are so many calls that they have to clear. Every 911 call that comes in, that's got to be cleared. They're running from spot to spot right now. It's a very chaotic time, not only in the city of Milwaukee. This is happening all over southeast Wisconsin.
Yeah, exactly. And so they may have gotten a call about that car right there. It doesn't look like anybody's in that car that's submerged there. And so hopefully they have made their way out. But yeah, we were kind of hoping like they were going to just stop right there, law enforcement, be able to put up a squad there with lights saying, do not pass go, as they did right here on Green Bay Road last night. But again, that's the saturation of this storm. The flooding is everywhere. And again, we only have so many personnel in so many places right now. So, Maddie, you were at a different location, Lower East Side, so then you moved your way over to Brady. Did you see, was it tough to get around? Were you able to pretty much find at least enough dry area to walk over there?
Yeah, so this is the worst spot I've seen, I think, because of the underpass, and there is a little bit of dip. And Ben, I was listening right there. It does look like they are getting out of the car and staying put right there to block off the street.
Okay.
Yeah, but we'll see. Maybe they'll move from there. But yeah, right now it did look like they were going to drive away, but it looks like they're staying put right there.
Yeah, which is a good thing to do. Yeah, so many closures. Wow. Just unbelievable. And it looks, that's good. Hopefully the car just stays there, and who knows how long this could take to get that water out of there.
I want to go back to Brewers Boulevard out by the ballpark. Look, we got some new action here. There's people up on the median. Can we take that, guys, live? As we're seeing, Tim said it looked like a dozen cars about that are stuck right outside the ballpark at this dip, and they're hanging out on the median right now. As you can see, look down on your screen. Those people all just climbed out of their vehicles, and they're working their way towards dry land as the WISDOT alert just came through that this is blocked off. Yep, we could tell. You ain't getting by this tonight.
Yeah, and those cars are not going to fare well, and that's why we have been saying, if you can avoid that area. Take a look at this at 43 South at Locust right now, where those cars are going nowhere fast, because, again, that volume of traffic trying to get out of there tonight with the closures that they have listed, the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Department, and the roadways, the flooded roadways, again, there's just nowhere to go and nowhere to go fast.
I'm seeing a sign of hope here that there's vehicles on the left. You see there's a little bit of movement. A
little bit.
I want to bring in our chief meteorologist, Tom Walks, here, because this is what happened last night. This happens, it rises really quick, and it will go down pretty quick, too. Tom, you can talk about that. As for all the people who may be sitting in their cars right now wondering, how long do I have to sit out here? How long does it take for the water for some of these areas to get out of here when we're talking flash flooding?
Right, and I've got some data to kind of go along with this, guys, because, of course, we have been talking about the tornado warnings that were in effect for our southern communities. That is all gone, by the way. Severe weather threat is over. Obviously, this is now the remnant flooding threat. The heavy rain is coming to an end, and now you're talking about the gradual receding of this water. But let me tell you more specifically as we look at this here, more of how quickly, look at this. This is out by Miller Park Way. 1.46 inches in 1 hour, if not more than that. That was from a gauge in West Allis. 1 inch in 1 hour or less at the Waukesha County Airport. This was between 8 and 9 p.m. Okay, if not even less than that time frame. So that gives you an idea of how heavy and torrential this rain was. And then the problem is you get the heavy rain that falls, and in these lower lying areas, what happens? It all runs down into that one area. So that's why those dips in those slightly lower lying areas fill up so quickly. And it might not even be coinciding with when the heavy rain is falling, right? Because you're going to have all of that spilling in over the course of, maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes. But it all happens so quickly that unfortunately, if you're stuck in it, there's not much you can do, right? This is why we say don't drive through the floodwaters because you can get stuck. But I would be willing to bet, too, there were quite a few people that were in this as it was filling up, which is a very scary scenario to have happening. So we had 1.6 inches reported in just a couple of hours in the city of Milwaukee from a rain gauge there as well. Now, I want to tell you, as we are continuing to look at the emergency crews that you can see there as well, that the heaviest of the rain is done. However, there is another heavy batch that's going to be moving into Milwaukee here shortly as well. Not as heavy as earlier, but we're still going to see a good, steady soaking rain coming in here. And then there are more thunderstorms developing out in Iowa. So what this means is there is more rain on the way, and it's going to continue until noon tomorrow. Now, not all at once, and it's not going to be quite as heavy as we saw, but problem is, if this water doesn't start to recede, and it really has nowhere to go at this point, right? I mean, it's just going to take a long time for that to happen. This is the Marquette campus. I mean, look at this. This is the Marquette campus, guys.
Yeah, just crazy. I sent a text message to somebody who's over there right now, one of the students right there. And, a lot of people, he is saying, are in their dorms. Everything's fine. But if you have a car there, if you're one of the students, or you have to get around anytime tonight or in the morning, you're going to have a real tough time. But they're not sending out any official notices at this point. But you can just see this illustrates the widespread flooding. This isn't just 43 and the major freeways and the highways there. I mean, this is the campus.
This is my nanny's picture, guys. 15th and Kilbourne.
Oh, there you go. Qdoba at Brady Street.
Yeah. Brady Street is unspared by this. Look, I'm thinking of the bar shuttles. Think about all the people who went to a Brewers game on a bar shuttle.
Oh, forget it.
Where are those bar shuttles? How are all those people even leaving the stadium?
Yeah, and look at West Allis there. This is the second, not the second thing they needed, the last thing that they needed. They, no doubt, are having shades of last August when they got hit during State Fair time, just walloped with all that flooding that was just unbelievable to see. And here we go again. It looks like rushing currents there. It looks like we're in some movie called The River Runs Through It. Look at those streets. Look at all that water just gushing away with nowhere to go.
And Mary and Ben, as we look at this, we're obviously focused on the streets, right? And the stuck cars and the interstate closures. Where is this again? I'm sorry, Locust and Fond du Lac. Again, I mean, look at the wake left behind of these vehicles. And again, we don't encourage this.
No, not at all. Yeah.
But Mary, I wanted to bring up, we haven't talked about basement flooding.
Oh, yeah. I mean, exactly.
After August, too?
Well,
right.
We just saw the power outages. They are growing by the numbers. Let's try to get another check of those and refresh it. I went through it about 15 minutes ago, the We Energy power outages.
The last time I saw that, and this should be a credit to We Energies, the numbers were actually coming down.
Well, okay, good. Yeah. Oh, great. Look at that. Now, that shows We Energy's efficiency there. They were at over 9,000. That was not long ago.
Brought in crews from around the country.
Yep.
And there have been people who lost it yesterday, and We Energy said, we think we can get everyone online today, but it depends what happens tonight. Well, look what happened tonight.
Yeah, exactly. So not only important to have the lights on, but for anybody who's got a sump pump, we've all had one, and when those lights go out, unless you're on a backup generator or any kind of a generator, you're in trouble. So good to know that those lights are on right now. We want to underscore to everybody just joining us here at 9:47 on this Wednesday evening. This is live. We are looking at this. It's playing out in front of our eyes as well well as yours. And we are taking a look at all around town, all around the Marquette area right there. We just saw you right around American Family Field. One of our producers was at the game tonight, and he is saying that, you know, at this point, he was at Paulie's Pub, Paulie's Pub's bus on AmFam. We just talked about the shuttles, and it doesn't seem like they were going to be moving anytime soon. And the driver of that shuttle, presumably like so many others, are saying he is hearing there's no way in or no way out. So if people were at the game and hoping to get on a shuttle and make it back home okay, or if you got a car there, this could be a long night.
And it hurts when you want to be at Paulie's Pub.
Yes.
To enjoy the only good thing that's happened tonight is the Brewers won the game in dramatic fashion. I don't even know how they won the game yet because I've been, you know, doing the weather thing here.
Yeah.
But yeah. So this is just incredible. Brewers Boulevard. This is the road that goes right outside American Family Field. We just watched some of these people. It's just crazy that the median was used almost as a highway for these people to get. They basically just got in a line and walked towards the drier parts of the interstate, which was near here.
We saw Maddie Stelk a little bit earlier, and she was on Brady Street there. We saw that squad car, if you've been with us, pull up to just try to keep people from driving through. Two crews from the Milwaukee Police Department came out. She talked to them and said that they're just going to be staying there, at least one crew, to make sure that nobody goes under that bridge, because as we saw, yes, some people were smart enough to turn around, don't drown. Other people just went right through it. Maddie, I think we have you again. Are you still in that? Yeah, you're still looking at that car. Maddie, I got to ask you, Madeline Stelk, this is one of our producers. It looks as though somebody's in that gray car. Again, thought they got out, but are they back in the car?
No, Mary, nobody's in the car here, which is a good thing. Yeah, so nobody's in this car, and I actually did talk to the two MPD officers who are actually in that squad car right now. They said that they were actually called here to, again, like, survey what's going on here, and did decide to block off this road. But yeah, they did check as well to make sure that nobody was in here, that everybody was safe, and it does seem all good. Yeah, I did get the chance to talk to them a little bit, and I asked, I was like, do you guys think this is worse than it was in August? Oh, here's somebody. Oh, no.
Do not.
Okay. Guys, this is Splash Zone Central.
Well, but it's heartbreaking because we keep, you know, telling people you can't drive through that. It's just, it's tough to see that. Tough to see that.
It is, especially, I mean, hopefully now that they see the lights, that'll hopefully deter people away. But yeah, the two officers that I was talking to there, I asked, I was like, do you think this is worse than, you know, it was back in August? Because that's, I think, what a lot of us go back and think to, like historic flooding. And now we're seeing a lot more similar visuals just like that again. And they told me, they were like, you know, it's kind of hard to tell now. We'll be able to get a better feel tomorrow, just seeing the aftermath of it. But
I think this shot shows the incredible challenge that law enforcement is facing and the incredible resources it takes for a flash flooding event like this, because here we've got two police officers who showed up. They were called to the scene. They have to check on it. They have to clear it. They can only block one side of the road. As we just saw, they can't block the other side. So cars coming from the other way may not see that water, and they're driving right through it.
Yeah. And there's so many of them right now. You know, Maddie, we're just getting word that the two left lanes on 94 westbound closed on 25th Street because of the flooding on the road. So again, there's only so many emergency crews that can get out there to cover this large area that has been flooded. Large area meaning a lot of southeastern Wisconsin. Yeah, so
as we wait for that, I just got an update from the mayor's office. This is coming from the spokesperson, Jeff Fleming, saying the city has crews out to address street flooding. If there is street flooding by you and you need to report it, here's the number: 414-286-CITY. That's how you can alert the city that there is flooding that needs to be addressed. I'm going to repeat that again. This is coming from the mayor's office: 414-286-CITY. Our producer, Matt Kiesling, who's stuck on the Paulie's Pub shuttle from the Brewers game, says they're moving now. So some good news, hopefully, as we'll be checking in on his short journey going from the ballpark to that bar. So obviously the mayor's office is trying to work crews and help as many people as they can.
Yeah, exactly. As we take that split screen look there right now, Maddie, just you're not able to see that, but we're looking right now at Miller Park, where that you can see the cars there just coming at a standstill. Again, Ben just mentioned one of our producers on one of those shuttles that looks like they're moving slowly but surely. But this is going to take quite a while to navigate, to get through. I'm going to try to get some pictures up here while we look at that. I've just been given some pictures from Marquette that took a brunt of this, and I am hearing from there that the basements are flooded in some of the dorms there, and it's at high risk because the electrical room, at least in one of the dorms, is flooded. And so we'll monitor that while we monitor this. And we do another round robin here to kind of reset. It's just this flooding everywhere. And maybe this is time we bring in Tom Walks. If there's any good news at all, it appears as though the rain has dissipated, and hopefully we can dry out for a little bit to get under this. Tom, has it gone away enough that we can at least dry out enough to get people home, to get people rescued from their cars and basements dried out?
Sort of, Mary. And, I wish I could say, we're going to completely dry out, but the answer is no. And I don't know, guys, if we can take the radar, but I think we need to show this because the line came through. So let me reiterate here. In fact, I'm going to take you back and give me a minute here let's analyze this here for a minute. Okay, so I'm going to take you back to 7 o'clock tonight. All right, so now here you have Milwaukee. We were still pretty dry at 7 to 7:30, but we were seeing signs at this point that the flooding was going to start to get bad because of all of the storms that were shaping up. Now look at 8 o'clock. You see the rain picking up around Milwaukee, right? 8 to 9 o'clock is when we saw the worst of it. Look at 8:25 tonight. All right, and now look at 8:39. That's when we were at the heaviest. So the worst of this rain fell between 8 and 9 p.m. Now, this was 9:15. You see the heavy rain moving out of Milwaukee, right? It's getting lighter, but now look to the southwest. Now look towards Monroe and south of Madison. And now you see that area that's going to be coming in. So let's put this over the last hour and loop this for you. And you can see how this is starting to fill back in. Is it to the intensity that it was between 8 and 9 o'clock? No, it's not. But this is going to be a steady rain, guys, that is going to last for several more hours. So unfortunately, guys, I don't see a lot of dry time for the water to recede, and then the concern becomes what's happening out here in Iowa. That's going to move in during the morning hours, bringing more scattered thunderstorms through. So again, that's kind of the weather synopsis of what's going on, but it appears just from the analysis of what we just looked at that 8 to 9 p.m. when that line came through, that was the worst, the heaviest of the rain, but now we have a steady rain that's going to continue. So I think it's going to be rough here for the next couple of hours.
Well, I spoke too soon then. I was hoping that we could get a little break there. Tom, thank you. We'll check back in a bit. We're going to take you right now to one of the shuttle buses. Our producer, Matt Kiesling, was at the game. Good news is, Matt, as we bring you in here, you were stuck. No word from the driver on if you could get out of the area, but it looks like you're moving, albeit slowly but surely.
Yeah, we're moving. We're not going towards Pawleys. We're going towards on Canal Street towards like Potawatomi, eastbound. So this is supposedly the one way out right now, and traffic is very slow and long right now.
Yeah, that's a great shot there from your driver's vantage point of just all of those red lights. Matt, you're at the Brewers game. We were under a flash flood warning as the game ended. What kind of messaging did you get? How much knowledge did you have as thousands of people are walking out of the stadium that you were walking into this? What was the journey like? Since then they get on the bus.
We had no idea. I mean, we could tell because the roof was leaking during the game. You could see it coming in. It wasn't bad, but you could see water coming in. But we had no idea how bad it was. So we came out, looked for the bus where it usually is, and there was a big flood. The road was flooded right there. So then I called Pawleys, and they said, hey, we're going to have to pick you up in a different spot. It's around the stadium. So we went back in the stadium, walked to the right field area and walked out that way, and then followed the bus, and we've been sitting in the bus, but now we're moving.
Oh, good news. That is really good news. Yeah, as we saw those pictures, Matt, give us an impression as to when you came out and you saw everything going down. I mean, what was the general consensus? And even from a news standpoint, from a producer, you've seen a lot of this. What was your feeling?
Oh, it was crazy. I mean, I didn't know what was going on. We were like looking for the bus, and we're like, usually they have a bus right there. We get right on it, and we're back at the pub probably in 10, 15 minutes. So then we were like looking around, and then we asked. So then I just called there, and they said, we're going to pick you up. And then I asked security, like, where we got to go? And
what was security saying? And what's been the general consensus among people as they finally figure out there's nowhere to go because all the interstates have been shut down? I mean, I'm just wondering that moments after the game, when did everyone kind of figure out they needed to stay put, or maybe they didn't find out they needed to stay put?
Yeah, everybody's pretty confused. Some people I heard on the bus didn't even know it was raining really bad. We had no idea it was that bad. But
Matt, the good news is you're safe. You guys are on that bus. But I got to ask you, are you concerned about your car? People, where people are parked, anywhere. Like, what are you thinking?
I don't know. Hopefully it's all right. 84th Street is underwater. The bus driver said 84th Street and 76th Street over there are underwater. So
yeah, major closures there. All right, Maddie, we're going to let you go because we need to reset here, start the 10 o'clock. We hope to check back in with you to see what your progress is during our 10 o'clock newscast. So hang 10, not that you have a choice to go anywhere else. But
hang tight.
Be careful.
All right, yes. Be careful, exactly. Keep it right here. We're just going to do a quick reset, 15 seconds. Fox 6 News at 10 will start, and we'll keep this going and keep you informed. Keep it right here on Fox 6. Glad you're with us. We're in this together. Let's keep safe.
With stories that matter to you, this is Fox 6 News at 10.
Good evening, everyone. For the third night in a row, weather is the story in southeastern Wisconsin. We came on the air at 8 o'clock tonight because of strong winds. Not that they're not a factor anymore, but the main story tonight is water, and a lot of it.
A lot of it indeed. Power outages were widespread. They're back on now, but this Fox 6 Storm Center app that hopefully you have on your phone is coming in handy. I just said before you came, are we still in a flash flood warning? And I got the alert from my phone, and then best of all from Chief Meteorologist Tom Walks. Tom, we know you're standing by as we take a split-screen view of what has just been an unbelievable night. Timing is everything, and this underscores that. Brewer game letting out to nothing. Mass chaos, and in a sense, people not knowing what's going on, not being able to get out of that parkway, and just stuck there as roads are flooded everywhere.
Yeah, and this is very reminiscent of August 9th, isn't it?
Yes.
Of exactly what happened. So here's the deal. A flash flood warning continues in effect, and I'll read you the list here as you're looking at the video. This is a flash flood warning that is going to continue for all of Milwaukee, most of Ozaukee and Washington counties, southeastern Dodge County, all of Jefferson and Waukesha counties until at least 11 o'clock. So at least 1 hour from now. Walworth, Racine, and Kenosha counties, you have flash flood warnings until midnight. Now, I just posed the question to our friends at the National Weather Service, two of them. Number one is if we're going to end up seeing an elevation of the flash flood warning, which would send it to more cell phones, which may be of help given that we were seeing interstate closures and all of this. Number two, if there's going to be an extension of this past 11 o'clock tonight. Why do I say that? Well, now we're looking at the radar, and here is why. Let me recenter this radar here for you just a little bit, because we had that big line of thunderstorms come through, especially between 8 and 9 p.m. And we had tornado warnings in our southern communities. That has all lifted, so that's good news. But look at what's happening now. Look at this moderate rain that is building back into the area. So we had the super heavy rain from 8 to 9 p.m., which likely caused this flash flooding. But now we have this moderate rain that's going to continue for the next several hours, and that's really going to hamper receding efforts, the flood waters receding off of the roadways. And then we have more scattered thunderstorms back out in Iowa. That's going to join us by morning. So the bottom line is we have more rain on the way through noon tomorrow. But what I really don't like to see here is this moderate rain that is building back into the area that's going to last for the next couple of hours. Not to the intensity that we had between 8 and 9, but enough to hamper efforts to try to get that water to recede. Because as you guys know, the amount of rain that we have had in the last several nights has been horrible. So it's not just the rain that fell tonight. It's on top of what has fallen over the last several nights as well. And, you know, we're talking obviously a lot about the roadways, right? But please check your basements as well, because, again, this looks very familiar to what happened to us back in August, given the volume of water and the saturated ground. So, again, check your basements as well, as we have more rain on the way. But, again, not to the intensity that we had, but the rain is not going to completely stop here for quite a while. Back over to you.
Tom, we're going to show as many pictures as we can as you look at the expressway. That's 43 on your left at Locust, shut down there, and that's Brewers Boulevard on your right. Cars stuck there as they were trying to leave the game after a Brewers victory. I want to ask you, what changed? We knew there was going to be some rain tonight, but this seems to be a slower moving system than anticipated.
So we were thinking that we were going to have flash flooding issues tonight. Now, you can never fully anticipate that, you know, you're going to have interstates underwater until it is actually happening, if that makes sense, because these are certain favored low-lying areas, right? That are where you're getting all of the rain and all of that runoff is running in. So my assumption here as to what happened is we saw the very heavy rain between 8 and 9 p.m. And by that, I mean 1 inch or more in less than an hour. I mean, so it just dumped rain. But then it took just a little bit longer for all of that water to run into where you're seeing it now. You see what I mean? So even after the heavy rain falls, it's all starting to pool in those low-lying areas. So we had a flood watch in effect, which we still do. We've had flash flood warnings in effect. So this really wasn't a surprise per se. We've been expecting this heavy rain, but to know exactly where it's going to be in, you know, specifically what areas, unfortunately, we just don't know that. And as you're seeing here as well, this was Locust and Fond du Lac, I believe, that you're seeing on your screen.
That's right.
It's those flood-favored areas that start to fill up, and that's what we're seeing tonight.
The usual suspects, if you will.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And that, you know, so many closures right now, full freeway closures, southbound I-43 at Beecher and northbound I-43 at Holt. And that's why, again, you're seeing that slow go as we saw from our producer there and the shuttle there coming from Miller Park. And as you can see there, we saw a lot of cars going right through that water. We saw some doing the turnaround, don't drown, but you can see somebody right there either drove through it or just got stuck. That's the scene all over southeastern Wisconsin as we see these cars stuck right there. You're looking at 35th and Center as cars try to make their way. Luckily, the streets don't look quite as flooded there as in some of the other areas, but still, that's a large pool of water to be driving through.
You want to talk 35th and Center, you want to talk Marquette's campus, you want to talk Walker's Point. We've got flooding all over the city of Milwaukee tonight. This is near Hawley and Pierce, not far from State Fair Park, where streets are flooded there. And this is videotape. This is not live. We saw this guy drive through about an hour ago. Some people just making the most of it, flooring it, trying to get through. Obviously, that's ill-advised, but people are going to do what they're going to do. Sometimes they feel like they're trapped, that there's no other way around to get anyway. And this is the scene from Marquette's campus. I believe this is the shot taken by Ben Handelman's nanny. Mary.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm getting a couple of videos there. I'm efforting getting there up on the screen from a student there that said there were some concerns that there was flooding in the basement of one of the dorms there, perhaps even nearby apartments, but in the dorm, and especially because that's where some of the electrical equipment is. This is Brady Street. We all know this area. If you're familiar with Brady, that Qdoba right there, a very heavily populated area. Look at that, just all that flooding.
On Saturday, people were lined up there for the shoe drop for the 414 shoes.
Yeah.
Let's go to West Dallas here and show you the flooding here. This is sent in from Dana. So we're going to try to say your names as you send them in. We appreciate it. If you want credit, you deserve credit. We're going to try to do that. But just look at this street. Jeff, which street is this again? Do we know?
And, as we look at this, we're so thrilled that people are sending it in. We appreciate it. We need it. Your pictures are telling the story, and you are illustrating what's going on. But, again, the most important thing is stay safe. Don't put yourself in harm's way if you see anything. We saw it from earlier reports, even with that tornado that had touched down, that EF1 that was confirmed to have touched down. There can be power lines. There can be places that are very dangerous that you can't see right now because, obviously, it's so dark. We're going to get you over to Christina Van Zelst right there. She is live at the ballpark. When we talked to you last time, I think you were on the overpass, Christina. Is that correct?
Yeah, and that's where we are currently, Mary, right on the overpass along I-94 by American Family Field. I have to say traffic is looking better, but still a lot of backups here because of this. Take a look at the flooding that we are seeing on the eastbound lanes and now even on the west side. On the far left, you can see cars are moving over to avoid those massive puddles of water that's sitting on the interstate. And we know that the Brewers game wrapped up about an hour or so ago, so that was causing major backups in the parking lot. Now traffic is moving a lot better, but you can still see some problem areas here on the road and especially on the shoulder at exit 308 here. So good news is traffic is moving a little bit better. We did see some crews that were trying to clear some of the on the freeway, and the parking lot is also looking like a lot better of a story tonight compared to what we saw an hour ago, as cars have been able to safely get out of the ballpark. So this is what we're seeing on the interstate. Traffic is still backed up a little bit going both ways, and people are just taking it slow. It is hard to see that standing water, and that is where on the far left side, well, you can see some cars going through that now, which you can imagine if you're coming over that hill, it is a bit hard to see. So we'll send it back to you guys in the studio for now, and we'll keep you updated on conditions out here if they do change.
Christina, you worked all day covering storm footage and stayed extra tonight. We appreciate that. But you were out when it was raining the hardest out at State Fair Park. Compare that rain about an hour and a half ago to the rain now. Is it still as heavy?
Not at all. When we were driving, it was probably about an hour and a half ago, we had to pull over. We could barely see just going slowly here on the interstate, and it was raining sideways. Now the rain is light, and I was trying to see where that officer just went to through the trees. That's another area that we've seen a lot of flooding. It's hard to tell from where we're at. Wanted to see where they were going, but they're going up the other way. But Ted, to answer your question, this is nothing compared to what we saw before, where there was just rushing water in some of the areas that we were at. So maybe that's helped a little bit. And now it's lightning, so we're going to head back to our car.
Yeah, get out of there. Okay, yeah. Christina Van Zelst reporting for us. Thanks very much.
Yeah, we're going to take you back to Matt Kiesliner. That's our producer that we introduced you to just a little bit ago, because he was at that game, stuck in traffic there as he left the game to get to his shuttle. He just said that there's nowhere to go. Matt, before we get to you, I just want to read this quick update from the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office saying that there are full freeway closures at southbound 43 in Mitchell, northbound and southbound from the Brewers Boulevard Stadium interchange. If you don't have to drive in southeastern Wisconsin tonight, just don't do it. That said, you are on that shuttle. At least it's moving now. It wasn't before. How are you going? It looks like a little faster than when we last checked in.
We're moving. Things are good. We're on Canal Street. We're going east. We're going to take this to 6, the bus driver said. I think then we got to go over to Greenfield after that.
Where are you trying to get to, Matt?
And then up to Greenfield.
Okay. I'm sorry. Where did you start from? Where did this trip start earlier?
Right at American Family Field.
No, Matt. What bar did you start at?
Pauly's Pub. Sorry. Pauly's Pub.
Pauly's Pub.
On, right in Greenfield, right across the street from the State Fair Park.
Slow moving.
And this is the only way to go. You don't have a choice, right?
Yeah, this was the only way out. They have other shuttles, and they've been talking to each other, and they found this route. It was the only way to get out, and so we're moving, which was great. We didn't know for a while there if we were going to get in or out. He said, I don't think there's a way out yet. So we found a way.
Most important thing, you're safe. Are you hearing anything from Pauly's Pub? If the cars are okay there? I mean, how is the parking lot? Any word from them? Do you know?
I don't know that. I know the bus driver said that 76th Street up there and 84th Street were flooded at the time. So hopefully it's not too bad. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Well, stay with us. We're going to stay with you, and thanks for letting us tag along on your journey here. Let's go back to Brady Street on the Lower East Side, and we saw that this is a live shot. You saw the video of the Qdoba with a puddle, not a puddle, a pond in front of it. This is from photojournalist Jared Harrington. Jared, I don't know if you can hear me or not. Tell me if you can, and if you can't, I'll understand. He can hear me, but he can't talk to us. Okay. So if you could just show how Brady Street is doing now as we look. This is traffic that is heading west on Brady away from the east side there. And it's raining. It's still raining significantly, but it's cleared off, and that's the important thing. Yeah, let's show the file video. Let's show a compare and contrast. So this is now, and this was before. So somebody must have cleared out a sewer line or something, because it's down to just a rainy night on the Lower East Side. Not a dangerous one as it was here.
We saw that a little earlier, that video of, the officials trying to clear those sewer lines right there. It's been so hard to do. I mean, there's only so many personnel out there that can handle this. And so hopefully they have been able to do some of that, you would assume, because it doesn't look quite as ominous as it had before. But when you look at some of these areas, just impacted by all this water, it's so hard to imagine where that water will go. But this is some good news there as we look down Brady Street.
Very good news. Absolutely good news there. Walker's Point also with some flooding. We're trying to get you some video from that, from Brian Kubel, who we follow on X, who is an excellent photographer. And if you're not following him on X, you should. He's got some great pictures from Walker's Point, as does our producer, Lauren Curtis, who was showing us video from Second Mineral, which we're efforting to get to you. Mary, right outside Odd Duck, yes. Lauren tells me people were leaving with their pant legs rolled up and their shoes in their hand, trying to get to their cars, only to find out when they got to their cars, they might not be moving anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, and it's so important to stay away from any of that standing water. Again, you just don't know what you're going to get into. Just avoid it at all costs, and that's why the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office is saying best just to stay in tonight and avoid these areas, because there are so many flooded areas. Hard to know if they are safe to be around or not. Again, you see any standing water at that, don't go through it, turn around, don't drown. That's the important thing. This seems to be the most impacted area of the night. As you see there, the Miller Parkway, right there, Brewers Boulevard, looking, maybe this is just wishful eyes, Ted, but it looks a little bit better than it had before. But you got some of those cars that are just stuck.
Same cars that are stuck there, unfortunately. And that's causing, we talked to Matt Kiesling, who's on that shuttle. They might have gone out that way and then down the expressway to get to Polly's Pub, but no, they had to go toward Canal Street, and they're heading east on Canal right now, trying to serpentine their way through the city. And you can see a tow truck there pulling one of those cars. I believe, Mary, that was the same car that we saw a gentleman standing on top of later. It just got towed out of frame right there. But this is the condition here, and this is from the Wisconsin Department of Transportation cameras right on Brewers Boulevard. Used to be known as Miller Park Way, but Brewers Boulevard right now. Yeah, exactly. And there have been just so many reported problems all around the area. The really good news is that there were a lot of power outages. We Energy is working expeditiously to restore power to many areas. We'll get a little check in just a minute, but for the meantime, there have been at least 5 possible isolated sewer overflows. Sewer overflows already this week in the Milwaukee metro area. Now, unfortunately, MMSD facilities are running at near full capacity, and another big batch of rain could lead to a big overflow at a place they don't need it, Jones Island.
The more water that we keep out of the sewer system, that's water that can't become an overflow or a basement backup or a problem for somebody else.
That's Bill Griffin there from the Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewage District speaking about that right now. We're going to take you back out here to the very heavily affected area. Again, these are just kind of almost shades of last August when we experienced that flooding. The difference seems to be, while it was kind of contained to State Park, that area, this is so widespread, this flooding, affecting so many parts of our viewing area right now.
And we joked before about the usual suspects, but it is. It's Locust Street on 43rd Street, on 94. It's over by Beecher. That's shut down the highway for a little bit here. So if you've been driving in flood situations before, you know the hot spots. There just happen to be a lot more hot spots. We're not used to seeing flooding at Marquette's campus or in Walker's Point, certainly not at American Family Field. Sam is now arrived, our Sam Kramer in Walker's Point. Sam, I hope you can hear us and you're mic'd up and ready to go. Where are you exactly? What are you seeing?
Yeah, hi there, guys. I'm going to switch this around so you can see we're in Walker's Point. This is Second, just north of Mineral, where we had seen some of the video that's been sent to us by people living in this area. The water has receded in some spots, but there are still some pockets. So we're right at Stenny's here, turning onto National, east to National. I'm going to go back to First Street and stay with me so that you can see what we are seeing. So we're going to turn south onto First, heading again south toward Bayview. We're not going to go that far. And between National and let's see, a little bit farther south to Lapham, there are these kind of pools that jet out into certainly the right lane, but now the left lane. So we're passing Walker Street. Can you see that now in front of us? Not totally, but we're about to see this car go through it. And there goes the splash zone. So that water is up against over the sidewalk right here to the right of our screen. It's pooling more and more toward the middle of the road, maybe a ½ inch to an inch. And we're going to turn off of it onto Mineral again. So it was a lot higher, a lot heavier in this area before. Not sure if a sewer was clogged and then unclogged for that to be freed up.
Well, that's
but you can still see whether it's tree branches or whether it's other yard debris, even stones that is kind of left in the wake of that it fortunately has improved some.
As you take a right there, and that was Odd Duck right there in the corner. That's what I was going to ask you. Do you see DPW out there trying to clear sewers out or anything? I don't see anybody, but somebody must have done something because those waters were pretty high 45 minutes ago.
Not necessarily by us, but we came up through South Milwaukee and really kind of avoiding the freeway after hearing and seeing those pictures provided by the State Department of Transportation too, as far as a complete standstill. So we kind of took the long way, and what that showed us is that what we saw coming through South Milwaukee, they had blocked off a stretch of road that goes under an underpass that likely at one point was flooded, but it has since receded. So in some areas things have improved, but as Tom has alluded to, with more rain coming, certainly no one's out of the woods yet.
Yeah, clearly. The last thing that people want to see at this point. Well, Sam, go ahead, Ted.
Sam, I know you just drove by Stenny's, but if you get a chance, circle back around, because Stenny's has got a party bus going down to American Family Field, and I'm curious if they've made their way back there.
Yeah.
So if you happen to be in that area,
okay, let's do that.
Yeah, keep us posted on whether Stenny's has made its way back.
So take a left here. Okay, so we're going to go by Stenny's. I'm just telling Colin what we're doing. We're going to go by Stenny's, see if the shuttle is back. There looks to be actually a bus right there.
That's what I thought I saw it when you passed it last time.
Stenny's, Stenny's would be well positioned because Canal is spitting out kind of toward this way. And yeah, that's the shuttle definitely from one of the That's their brewer shuttle, yeah, right here, number 24. I can see the number. So
okay, so they're back safely.
That's in good shape.
Yeah.
Yep, they're back. I'm not sure about the others, but like First Street has some pooling. Second is much better, which is crazy. Just the difference a block can make, as we're seeing here.
What's the worst you've seen tonight? Not necessarily in Walker's Point, but anywhere you've been around. You and Colin have been driving around, flood chasing, so to speak, in Ground Fox. Where are the worst spots that you saw?
I think the flooding, we're just kind of coming on it. Certainly nothing compares to American Family Field, and as you guys have alluded to, it is eerily reminiscent of that night in August, that Saturday night in August, because some of us that were working that night, it is almost the exact same spitting image. We were working our way to Tosa to check and see how the Menominee River is doing there. I know a lot of people that live along that parkway that would tell you, I think, that they have a little bit of PTSD or some trauma from everything that they've dealt with only getting through it to now potentially worrying about basements again. So we were kind of riding in the middle of that storm into Racine County and then working our way back up. So we're only just kind of now seeing some of the flooding.
Gotcha. Yeah, Erie, that night you mentioned that the people in PTSD is not too strong of a phrase to use. They had basements wrecked. They had first floors wrecked. They fought with insurance companies. Many didn't even have flood insurance. It took a lot of time to rebuild. It took a lot of time for the debris to get hauled away in some cases. And then the holidays come, and then they get back to normal.
See the standing water
and now
here.
this. It's just got to be really tough on the psyche.
I don't know. It totally is. And to just jet away for a quick second. So we're on 2nd. We just passed, I believe it's Oregon, or we're coming up on Oregon. We're going to stop here. We're not going to go through this, but you can see the level of water here underneath the railroad crossing here. We just saw cars turn around on the other side. So we're going to turn around and do the same.
Yeah, that's.
But so these kind of low-lying areas are the issue, and especially areas where I think I can see a sewer grate along the right that hasn't been unclogged. So yeah, we're going to do the safe thing here and turn around.
And this is exactly why the Sheriff's Department put out that notice there for people to just stay off the streets today. It is so unpredictable because of this widespread flooding to know what you're getting into. We know there are people who work a third shift. We know there are people who, emergency personnel, who have to get to their jobs. But they're saying anybody who doesn't have to be on the streets right now, stay off the street. And in fact, there was a safety update just alerted, or we just got literally just a minute ago from Marquette saying that there are flooding in multiple streets and water issues in multiple buildings. I've had a student send me several pictures, just got another one in that we are putting in our system right now, putting up on the screen to illustrate. This isn't just the highways, the sideways, the freeways. This is also on our campus, a well-populated campus. Everybody back from spring break right now, not knowing exactly what to do or how to handle it. A lot of students just standing out looking at it. We can't emphasize enough, don't walk in the water.
I did see one report from Barstool Marquette where they said the taco truck was able to make it. So,
exactly.
Some little bit of good news there from over on Marquette's campus. All right, Sam, we're going to let you drive around. We're going to pot your mic down. We appreciate what you're doing. You and Colin stay safe and stay at it. Let's talk about flooding, a concern in the Mequon-Thiensville area tonight. Milwaukee River already high because of the last 2 days. Things are only going to get worse with more rain tonight. This is a video from today. Water is up 3 feet from just a couple of days ago. The dam is raging, and Pigeon Creek also overflowing behind some apartment buildings. Again, this was today video. I can only imagine their anxiety tonight, and we spoke to some of the people who live there.
I worked until like 9 p.m. last night, and when I came back through, there was just water everywhere, especially the drain areas. We had some trees cleared out, I want to say last year because of it as well, so it knocked out every single tree that was in the area, and then the pond was overflowing as well.
Now, there's already been a report of part of the Ozaki Interurban Trail washing away. This is a section near the Pigeon Creek, right at Highland Road. The trail is now closed at this spot, but I imagine all this water that's falling tonight is only going to exacerbate the situation there, Mary.
Oh, yeah, and look at the roadways. Right now, as so many we're dealing with so many potholes in and around the area. It has just been the last thing that these areas need. Now, the good news is when we did check in with We Energies just a little bit ago, there were less power outages, fewer power outages than there were just an hour ago. This is I-43 at Chase right now. A lot of the cars, as you can see, they're off the road. Emergency vehicles there, obviously flashing the lights, people heeding the warnings. Let's take a look at the power outages right there. At the height of this storm, so to speak, there were just over 9,000 in the, we'll call it major metropolitan area. And right now, and Milwaukee to the brunt of that, right now Milwaukee really got hit hard. Milwaukee County, they're down to 230. For those 230 people, of course, they're like, we need the lights on, but that's a far cry from where they were. Kenosha County and Waukesha jumped.
A real tribute to the We Energy workers and Brendan Conway Illinois of We Energy is telling me yesterday, look, we're bringing in other utilities to help us out as long as they don't have the same situation that we're dealing with. It was Waukesha County taking the brunt yesterday, but today, as you mentioned, Kenosha County, Milwaukee County was at the top of that. You don't want to be at the top of this list, but they were. But they've dropped significantly, and now Kenosha County, and that makes sense. Kenosha County and Waukesha County, that's where the winds are coming through. We had the tornado warning for Kenosha and Racine County earlier, so it's interesting that Racine doesn't have that many, but Kenosha County does. Might be indicative of something. We'll check in with Chief Meteorologist Tom Watson a little bit here. Yeah.
Even with those extra crews, you can see how expeditiously they've been working those numbers down. We'll keep an eye on that for you, though, see when power can be restored. Again, we want to make sure that you have your phones charged just in case, as this system is not done yet. We have the Fox local mobile app on there. You can always watch us on there if your power does go out and you can't see us on TV. So keep those things charged, and that way you can get a play-by-play of this weather system that is not over. We want to emphasize, we want your pictures. The one that you're looking at behind all of that the typing right there, that illustrates how intense the storm was yesterday, and we're not out of the woods yet. So you are telling the story. We appreciate your pictures. Go ahead and scan that QR code if you're able to, but please make sure you're safe when you are sharing those photos with us. When you do share them, we're going to get them online and right here on the screen as soon as we can.
There are a few things that bring a community together, like a snowstorm or a rainstorm or something. So there is this feeling that we are all in this together. You may be watching us, but you're watching us courtesy of the content is coming from so many viewers, and we cannot thank you enough to help tell this story. As we look here at Chase Avenue, on your left here, it's been shut down. And then again, that's Brewers Boulevard on the right, which Chase seems to be getting better, Mary.
Yeah.
Brewers Boulevard does not. They have the tow truck in there plucking a few more of those cars out. Now, we do see movement there on Chase as we look north there, but this is really a problem spot.
It really is, and we saw the firefighters there, a couple of them doing a very, very delicate dance, if you will, on the sides, trying to get the people who were right there. One of the guys standing on what looked like the sunroof, the top of his car, waiting to get rescued. Two firefighters, and we see right there on the screen, take a close look at your screen. If you're looking straight on, right to the right, we see somebody walking through those waters. It does not appear to be a firefighter or emergency personnel, and then somebody following them as well. A lot of people saying, what do I do? I mean, we can't do anything, but just kind of be helpless here and look on. There was only one way out, according to Matt Kiesling, our producer, and
Canal Street.
Canal Street, that was it.
Right by Potawatomi. All right, let's get an update from Marquette right now. There are several water-related issues on campus. MUPD, that's a flooding here, asking the campus community to avoid the intersection, specifically of 15th and Kilbourne. There's standing water there. Any additional traffic disruptions on campus will be communicated via safety alert. Now, avoid driving if you are able to do so, and if you have to walk outside, don't walk in or near standing water. If you can't see the ground, turn around. This is from Marquette Police. And one more, the facilities planning and management is assessing managing water leaks in various buildings. I saw some video on Twitter tonight of the Al, had some serious water damage in there. Several contractors are on site. Laundry facilities on campus have been particularly affected. Do not use laundry facilities, Marquette students. And campus remains open and operational.
Yeah,
all right.
There's a question there. Are they going to be closed, or were they closed? Is at this point?
No word of that yet.
No word at all. We do have extra pictures from Marquette as soon as we're able to get those generated in our system, just to show students standing around looking at kind of helplessly at where they go. If you were out studying tonight or out and about, it was a tough trek through the campus there. So it just shows how widespread this flooding is in our area. Let's see where we can go now. We have Christina Van Zelst. I can see her picture. It looks like up and ready. She was on that overpass. Is Christina up? I think she is ready to go, and just give us an update there from her vantage point. Hi, Christina. Can you hear us?
Yeah. Hey, Mary. We're in the same spot. We just moved to our car, so I'm zooming in just out of safety reasons with the lightning. But you can still see traffic, and the ballpark here, traffic is still backed up. If you remember, there is pretty bad flooding on I-94, especially heading eastbound, where you see that the lights right there and not as many cars coming this way. We actually want to take you down to the other side of this road where we've seen a lot of cars turn around, and I apologize for the blur. But this is, again, on the other side of I-94, where we've seen a lot of cars decide to turn around. So we're pulling up here. It might be a little bit hard to see in the dark. But this whole area, oh, you know what? Good news. It's clear. This is actually fully flooded. So good news.
Oh, that is some good news. Wow. Didn't expect that so soon.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that is very, very good news. Exactly. You just never know.
So now we're heading over to 51st and Wisconsin, where we saw some other reports on the ballpark of flooding. So we're heading there next.
Yeah. And Christina, you can't see this, but we are seeing some tow trucks there showing up to get those cars that were submerged. You no doubt saw those right there on Brewers Boulevard. So the tow trucks able to make their way through. That's some good news, too, for them. Not good news for the people who had to be towed, but at least they can get out of that area.
Yeah, no, that is good news. And also around the ballpark, we're finally seeing traffic lighten up. Oh, I don't know if you just saw that lightning there. That was pretty crazy. But
we don't have your picture up. I'm sorry. We're looking at the tow trucks.
Well, the tow trucks are probably more interesting than where we're at now anyways. We just turned onto Blue Mountain, and there's no traffic over here. So, again, trying to get to 51st in Wisconsin because we heard reports of some road flooding in that area. But there's no traffic now. So that's some good news around the ballpark. But yeah, from that shot that you guys had up with that flooding, it looks, at least they're getting the tow trucks there.
Yeah, you're in the Story Hill neighborhood there. Hopefully all the basements are dry where you are. All right, Christina, we're going to free you up. And when you get to the location you're trying to get to, give us a ring back right then. Let's go back to that shot outside Brewers Boulevard, because those tow trucks were coming and to the rescue. About what, hour and a half, Mary, after we first saw this? Because we saw this even breaking news. Our producer, Matt Keeling, has made it back to Paulie's.
Paulie's is maybe the best news of the night, because we were concerned about him not getting there at all. We need him back at work tomorrow. But it will be interesting. I've been kind of, tweaking him a bit, joking. But in all seriousness, how do the cars fare there? You just never know how the parking lot is. Luckily, there wasn't the hail that we had seen last night. I think we were all concerned about hail damage for those of us who had a car outside. But at least there's not that, but the water does not, fare well for so many cars, and of course, homes, the sump pumps. People who've got sump pumps, they are kicking in overdrive, no doubt.
Matt is the producer of our 4 o'clock news, so he better be into work tomorrow, because we know he's okay. We know he made it back safely, and we might want to put a microphone on him tomorrow, because he's got quite a story to tell. But maybe he'll be resistant to that.
So as we take another look right now, again, you are watching this live. We're all watching this together. We are all watching this play out together. It's just kind of a surreal scene. Here the Brewers have this great win tonight, night out at the ballpark, beautiful day today. And imagine coming out to what is nothing but standing water only. You can't make your way to your car. You can't make your way to your Uber if you ordered one, or a Lyft, or perhaps somebody was giving you a ride. You were kind of stuck with nowhere to go. The lines of traffic seemed unbearable, but the good news is they moved out emergency personnel, tow trucks, and personnel getting in, and especially for the rescue of those people standing on their cars.
Yeah, I got to get home. I got to get my car out of here, too. So the cavalry has arrived there. And you know where else the cavalry has arrived? I-43 and Chase. Let's take you there. A couple different tow trucks showing up here to save people who have been stuck in the waters there, because that's another one of those low-lying points of the interstate. Like we joke about the usual suspects, 43 at Locust, right here at I-43 and Chase. So there are some spots that have been problematic over the years.
I also got some pictures from a viewer sent to me personally at 85th and Brown Deer, where there was quite a bit of flooding and some traffic tie-ups there. One accident at least that it has appeared to be cleared now. But this isn't just the main areas here, the 43s, if you will, and the freeway, and as you see there, the interstate, 85th and Brown Deer, definitely taking some of the brunt here of the flooded streets, cars stuck, and at least one accident at 91st and Brown Deer. Just tying up traffic there, but it appears as though it has been cleared now.
And not too far from where we're looking right here, Howell in Oklahoma. We're told there's major flooding there. Sam Kramer is on the scene. He is He is going to be firing up his camera in a second. And while we wait, I've gotten a couple emails. Mary, you might have gotten a couple too. Are we still showing Doc at 11 o'clock, the show we had to preempt last night? And we apologize. I mean, we do and we don't apologize. It was severe weather last night. This is a serious situation.
Yeah.
So we're going to cut into programming when we have to, and we're going to be unapologetic about that. But we know you have your shows that you like on Fox. We love the show, Doc, too. I don't know yet. Stand by on that. We will know in about 10 minutes whether we are able to bring it to you. We want to make sure everyone is in the clear here. We're not going to stay on just for kicks and giggles. We want to make sure that everyone's safe. And when we get the all clear, when Tom says, yeah, the worst of it is over, we're going to get you back. But we don't know yet if that's going to be at exactly 11 o'clock. So if you're tuning in right now, getting ready to see last night's episode of Doc, which I understand is the season finale, bear with us, please. Yeah. I hope you can understand we don't lightly cut into programming or break a promise here. So we hope to be able to do that.
Our first priority, of course, keeping you safe and keeping you in the know. And again, if you see any of that standing water, even tomorrow, if you got to head into work, not worth it, turn around, do not go through it. Even if you're thinking, should I? When in doubt, turn around, don't drown. This may be a good time, if I can call it an audible, to bring in Tom Walks to find out exactly what we're looking into. Because right now, if you're looking at the screen, you're thinking, water seems to have, dissipated, if you will. Rain stopped, emergency personnel out. All is good, but not really. We're still under this flash flood warning in Milwaukee County, right, Tom?
That's right. Now, wait a minute, Ted. Did I hear this correctly? Where are you trying to pin it on me if we're airing Doc or not at 11 o'clock?
No, we just want to make sure you're the one who's you're the one who tells us when it's all clear and safe.
We didn't say
we gave you the chief title for a reason.
We didn't say direct calls to Tom.
You, Ted. I'm just messing with you. I'll tell you what. Okay, so here's the good news. And I've talked to our news director, Amanda. We're going to talk again here in about 5 to 10 minutes. But I do believe that we are going to run Doc at 11 o'clock. So, and here's why. Let me explain. I was just talking to our news director about this. So take a look. So just I want to recap what's been going on here, because what happened with this flooding is very similar to what happened on August the 9th. I mean, it's literally almost identical, right? In some of these areas that had the extreme flooding. Why have we seen it? It was this line of thunderstorms that also prompted the tornado warnings in our southern counties. So we were kind of bouncing back and forth with the tornado warnings. And then we started getting the reports at about 8:40, 8:45 of the flooding in Milwaukee, because that same line that prompted the tornado warnings in our southern counties had caused the flash flooding in Milwaukee, especially between about 8 and 9 p.m. It was that time frame there when we had the heaviest rain over the city of Milwaukee. And it's not just Milwaukee that's likely experiencing flooding. I have a feeling we have many other areas that have spotty flash flooding as well. Now, what we are seeing here late this evening is this area here, which is still some moderate rain, but nothing like we experienced earlier. And what I'm encouraged by is what we just saw from Christina Van Zelst and from the shots that we're seeing from around the city, is it appears that the water is starting to recede, which is great news. And this batch of rain is going to come to an end around midnight. So within about the next hour, hour and a half, we're going to see this batch of rain come to an end, and that's really going to help the water recede. Now, I want to zoom this out a little bit here for you, because we have more rain. I'm sorry, are you talking to me? Jeff, I'm not sure. What are we? Okay. Oh, there was an alarm going off? Okay, sorry, that was not me, but hopefully we were able to find that alarm there. Okay, so I want to point you off to the west, because this is the center of the low pressure system, and this has a little batch of thunderstorms with it. That is going to move through starting after about 3 o'clock in the morning and then continue on and off until about noon. So we could have batches of pockets, I should say, of heavy rain out of that, possibly for the morning commute. So it's imperative that you tune in to Fox 6 Wake Up before you head out. Rob's going to have the very latest, and our entire news team will have the latest on if we start to see a few more high water areas for the morning commute. Depends on how this sets up. It should be somewhat scattered, but again, it's not going to take a lot of rain to cause issues in the morning. So by noon tomorrow, everything starts to come to an end. Now, and you'll have to excuse me, I'm kind of flying around here a little bit because we now have another system that is out on the West Coast up in the Pacific Northwest. And I have to show you this, which is the concern for Friday. This is the severe weather outlook that will pop up here for you for Friday. And this is showing an enhanced risk just off to our west on Friday. Our concern, and Steph and I have been looking at this for Friday afternoon and Friday night, at least some of the high-res data that's coming in is showing a very similar system to what happened tonight. In other words, a west to east band developing over Milwaukee and then down to the southwest. That's going to end up being more rain, kind of another line coming through, a north-south line on Friday night with severe thunderstorms and heavy rain. So here's the bad news. Well, we will get a break on Thursday afternoon. We're going to see this again Friday afternoon and Friday night, possibly in a very similar fashion. Once we get past Friday night, then we're all good. In fact, into next week, I'm not really seeing much of anything, but we've got to get through Friday first. Jeff, do I have time to quickly show Sky Vision here? Is that all right? Okay, let me show you Sky Vision Plus, and then I'm going to show you our 6-day planner, and then we're going to go back to our Sam Kramer. So this is all gone now. So there that goes. This is the next batch that we see out in Iowa, and it's going to be after about 3 o'clock in the morning when this comes through, and then scattered about. You see that during the morning commute. So the concern would be if we have a strong cell over Milwaukee during the morning commute, that could be a problem. But it's not going to be everywhere, but I'm just concerned, you know, a little bit here and there. I think by the afternoon, we dry things out, may get a little foggy at times. Now, I want to just kind of reset this real quick. This is going to show you Friday, and I want to take you through, this is some of our in-house data on Friday. So let's just take you through here. Here's Friday morning, where we're dry. And now, you see Friday afternoon? Here it comes into the evening hours. Now, this is showing more of a progressive line coming through, but let me just go back to this other data because I didn't have this set up from earlier, but watch this. Let's see if we'll look at this together here. That could be some fog Friday morning, but here we go. Let's see if this goes far enough out to show you. Yeah, so right here, 5:30, 6 o'clock, see how that rain comes in, and it's kind of that west to east band. And then it continues into Friday night. So that's the latest I can get you there in terms of the Friday night aspect of it. But then I think there'll be a line coming in. So that's going to be a concern for that as well. So let's put this all together with your 6-day planner. And we're going to be cooler tomorrow, upper 50s to low 60s, 70s with showers and thunderstorms, especially Friday night. And then look at this. Have you ever been happier, guys, to see the 40s and 50s over the weekend? I'm super ecstatic because it means no severe weather for us. All right, I'm going to, do you want me to go to Sam, Jeff? Okay, we'll go back to the anchors, and I'm going to chat with our news director here, and we're going to make a final decision about Doc at 11 o'clock, but it's looking favorable at this point. Guys, we'll have that for you in a couple of minutes. Back over to you.
Tom, it could be 22 as long as it's sunny and no rain. We're fine.
Exactly, right?
Hey, Tom, real quick, something you've been promoting was the statewide tornado drill.
Yes, I'm glad you're bringing this up.
Canceled.
1:45
and 6:45 tomorrow.
Yep.
U.S. National Weather Service say because of the stretch of severe storms, they're canceling it.
I think we've had enough practice with this, don't you think, guys?
On severe weather.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah. All right. All right. Let's get to Sam Kramer right now. And Sam, exactly. Oh, you're out of the car. Good. Tell us where you are.
Yeah, hi there. We are at Howell in Oklahoma in Bayview, and you guys know how you asked me about half hour ago, what's the worst spot you've seen? It's right here. It's this intersection where the water continues to rise, and as cars come through here, we're even getting waves. coming out of the intersection. We've seen a couple cars go through. As I'm looking at this fire hydrant here on what would be the northeast side of this intersection, it's about halfway up to it. There's a Milwaukee County bus behind us that is stopped. For the most part, cars have been coming up to this. They see the water, and then they do a nice little Y-turn and turn around. That being said, there have been a couple of people that have gone through here, but this is really, at least from what we have seen, again, from going with the storm down south into Racine County and then coming back up avoiding the freeway because of those closures, this has to be the worst that we've seen. And I got my friend Patrick here, and I'm going to take this microphone. We're going to do this influencer style. You said that you were dealing with flooding back in August, so you were kind of prepared for this, but nevertheless, you're still going through it again.
Right, yeah, it's the same kind of flooding at the intersection that we dealt with a few months ago, but you know, we kind of prepared our basement. Everything's kind of elevated, so I think we're lucky. The other side of the building may have it worse with the cars driving by because it kind of laps all the water up against the building, so it kind of creates a problem that way.
Can you give us an idea of when this started? And did you have any damage yesterday, or is it all new today?
You know, yesterday was actually, we escaped pretty damage-free, so there really wasn't anything right here. But yeah, this happened about 9 o'clock.
Okay.
So, and it happened in about 15 or 20 minutes.
And about how much water in your basement?
We have probably about an inch in the corners right now. So not too much, but the other side, they're a little lower. So I heard that they probably have a few more inches than we do.
I was gonna say, you sound a bit calm for someone that has a lot of water in your basement. Again, is that just speaking to the fact that you've been through this not even a year ago?
Yeah, I think it's probably that we are already prepared. Everything was off the floor, so we just kind of got last minute things off the floor and hoping for the best. I think it's, wow. I think it's probably receding by now, but there was already a car that got stuck through the intersection here and pushed over here, so it's pretty wet.
Yeah. All right, Patrick, thanks so much.
Yeah, appreciate
Hopefully
you guys.
it doesn't get any worse.
Yeah, I
you
wouldn't
bet.
drive through the intersection.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. We've been telling people not to do that for hours as I put my microphone back here, Ted and Mary. Yeah, this has to be the worst that we have seen, our crew, and we've got Georgia Didier with us today, who's training to be a photojournalist. What a day to train to be a photojournalist when you're chasing storms all over.
Well, she's an excellent editor. She'll make a great photojournalist. May we all have the outlook in life that Patrick has.
Yes.
Hey, we've done it.
Yeah.
We can do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. It's refreshing. And again, we talked about it earlier when you guys were with us. This brings back a lot of memories for folks that aren't good memories, wounds for some, and frankly expenses at the end of the day.
Oh, absolutely.
So let's not lose sight of that. No matter where you are, this is going to be, it looks like another expensive weather event here.
And we'll continue to share their stories in the days to come. Sam, thank you so much. Right now, we're going to give you a picture from one of our photojournalists, Jared
Harrington.
Harrington from.
Yeah, you're at the Comstock Apartments. We've given you a microphone, which usually I would say is ill-advised, but we're in a pinch. So, Jared, we're going to let you speak. Tell us where you are and what you're seeing.
I am, so hey guys, I'm on Comstock and Bow, just south of Greenfield Avenue.
Okay.
And so the flooding was about by where I'm standing now, and over the last 15 minutes I've been here, it has been receding because of residents on the sidewalk here have been digging at the grates. And slowly but surely, this flooding has been receding. This is all the way, that's 20th Street, all the way at the end there. But this intersection here at Comstock and Arrow is flooded for now, maybe about 10 inches of water, I would say.
So kudos to the people who live there. They're taking it upon themselves. They're not waiting for DPW. They're cleaning it up on their own.
Sorry, Ted, could you repeat that?
I was saying kudos to the people who live there. They're not waiting for DPW. They're doing it on their own.
Yeah, for sure. They came up to me. A resident came up to me and asked me if anyone was coming. And I said I couldn't tell you. I just got here. But yeah, there's at least a dozen or so residents out here getting the job done.
Yeah, you see the people, as we see there, the flashlights walking around, just trying to.
They got their grabbers.
Yeah, got their grabbers right now, and that's the best way to do it. You got to be so careful though as they head out there and try to assess the area. Jared, we're going to come back to you if we have time to do so, but thank you for your perspective right there, for being on the mic and just shooting this video. We're going to take it back to Christina Van Zelst right now in just a moment, but first we want to show you a picture. Christina, okay, yeah, you are there. Christina, where are you? Are you on Marquette right now?
Yeah, Mary, we are. We're at 15th and Kilbourne. Sorry, we just saw a Jeep flying through this intersection. This is the intersection campus is telling people to avoid. This is why. Take a look at just the water and the flooding here at Marquette. Yeah, when you look at the cars parked, it really shows the perspective of how deep it is. Not sure how many inches of water that is, but again, campus telling people to avoid this intersection. Right before you came to us, we saw it looks like college kids flying through here in a Jeep. So not safe, not recommended by any means. We also heard from Marquette police who say that they're asking people to avoid this intersection particularly and to avoid driving around campus altogether if you can. And they said that their facilities planning and management team is assessing the water leaks in buildings across campus, and several contractors are here on site also helping with cleanup. We also know that laundry facilities have been affected by this heavy rain, but this is the main part of campus that we've seen really flooded here at 15th and Kilbourne.
Yeah, I know a student there, and so that student had sent some pictures, and I actually know his parents, and so I said, hey, have him send some pictures in, and it was just unbelievable. And a lot of the kids standing around looking, wondering what they were going to do, and in fact kind of almost jesting, are we going to have school tomorrow? They are, from what we have heard at least so far, but they were concerned about some of the basements there in the area, apartments and dorms maybe being affected, but it's unbelievable to see a campus where you have to go from classroom to classroom or area to area flooded and under so much water. You know, that's not generally something we think about. We think about the highways, the sideways, the freeways, not necessarily the campus, but no doubt those students are affected in so many ways. Most of them, at least what we've heard, from safe and just avoiding the area. That's what the officials are saying. Now we see that car, Christina, you saw that, look, driving right through, which we tell everybody not to do.
That's the same Jeep, Mary, that we just saw come through this intersection. So, yes, there you go.
Yeah, it seems like they know full well not to be doing it, so that's why they're doing it. But you can't reach everybody, and you can't understand everybody. But it seems to be intentional on their part. But we just hope most people heed the advice of Milwaukee Police and campus police to say, please stay away from this area in particular. Do you see anybody out and about trying to do anything? In our last location, we saw residents taking brooms and shovels and even those hand grabbers that you can get at State Fair and trying to clear the sewers. Anybody doing that there?
We haven't seen that here yet. This apartment building up here, there's been a lot of people peeking out of the windows, checking it out, but I haven't seen anybody necessarily cleaning up this area. We did see some folks walking through it, but you can see the debris just in this standing water with nowhere to go. It's not moving at all. And just the sidewalks, at least for the rest of this block, are completely flooded with water. I will say some of the good news, though, is when we were driving around campus a little bit earlier, this was really the only street that we saw impacted from the way we came in, coming in from the west. Yeah, but we haven't, to be clear, we haven't checked out the entire part of campus because we did get kind of stuck here. But this is the main area that we've seen. Of course, we heard from Marquette Police that there are several other areas impacted with flooding, but this would be the main intersection, I would say, to avoid.
Gotcha.
Obviously, looking at it, you can tell why.
Christina, everybody on the air tonight gets a gold star, but you get 2 because you stayed after your day shift ended to provide coverage for us. So the viewers are grateful, and your colleagues here at Fox 6 are grateful. We're going to let you go. You have done double duty, and we thank you for that.
And so has our photojournalist, Jake Salzbrun. He's the one making everything look good behind the camera, so he's done the same thing.
Good for you for pointing out Jake's work. All right, thanks to both of you.
Let's go to some video now from 76th in Oklahoma right now, where we can see the waters there. It looks like right now that flooded area where cars are driving through there. Boy, that looks terrible. That looks very, very dangerous. Not quite full on flooding there, but again, the area, as you can see, highly saturated, and officials are again saying if you can get off the roads, if you don't have to be on the roads, don't do so. I noticed this when I was driving into work today, Ted, and everybody watching right now. A lot of the lights are just not fully operational, as you see there. So it's just, you got to rely on your neighbor and hopefully everybody around you to take time, slow down, and just take your turn going through those intersections. But they can be real tricky, particularly at night.
Yeah, you bet, because sometimes you just don't see them.
Yeah.
This is Brady Street. From how long ago do we know? Because when we took you live to Brady Street at about 10:20, we saw that it had subsided quite a bit. But, oh, that poor person with a luggage and some bags there just pulling along on Brady Street. Feel for that person.
So
for
much,
sure.
yeah, just physically and mentally. Yeah, this is Brady Street in Franklin right there. Hard to watch that, isn't it?
Oh,
absolutely submerged. It's heartbreaking to watch that.
This is courtesy of the Deep Groove, which is a new cocktail lounge there.
Yeah.
Their cameras.
But again, for people to drive through that, you know, I'm surprised we can't have emergency crews everywhere. I'm surprised they haven't just shut that area down. From that to here, 51st in Wisconsin, not much better.
Not much better, and the antics of people who are just speeding through it all. Again, you know, you can't convince some people that you just shouldn't be doing that. So they're going to do what they want to do, and hopefully it doesn't affect others too much. But look at the cars that are going to be stuck there. This is at 51st in Wisconsin, and there's somebody else just driving through it. Wow. Let's go to 58th and Stack right now. This is courtesy of Daniel. Oh boy, you can see things floating in the street there.
Yeah, just so many homes you can imagine who have been affected by this. I mean, even if you don't have the basement flooding, you've got something going on, and it's not just contained to one area. This is Brookfield. Even they're getting it out there. I mean, look at the water there. How many lawns, how many backyards, how many basements are flooded? Hopefully the sump pumps are working, and hopefully, as you can see there, those sewer drains just able to capture that water. And there's more on the way.
At least it's going down. At least it's going down.
Yeah.
All right, Tom, we got a little bit of time left. We are going to do Doc. We are going to do Doc at 11, but we have a new problem.